starting. Mid-bot is not on, by the way.
Fire giant fell. For eons the gods demanded more until Surtur rose, and the monsters alongside him.
Here's to hoping the changes are better than they sound in that blog post.
Blog post sounded good, bro.
In the heavens, the gods banded together. A monster of their own making may be their undoing. Odin uttered a single word. Ragnarok. The pantheons, separated by belief, now united in cause. The world needs healing. The world needs hope. The world needs her.
That is right, everybody. Welcome to the Smite Season of Hope. I'm Titan Dandy, and I'm joined here by some incredible people. Let's introduce them. Welcome to the show, y'all. We got Ajax and Lermy. How are y'all?
Heyo.
Oh, doing great. Very excited to see what we got cooking today.
Yeah, there's so much that we got cooking. So with the Season of Hope, obviously this is the Season of Hope update show, and we're
What's up with the setup in the
pumped to
background?
share everything with y'all. I mean, we have a healing rework, we have HUD updates, we have so many balance changes it's hard to quantify in my own head, and so many things. And you know, just to let y'all know,
you can hear because I have them cranked up, bro.
We've shown y'all. We wanted to share.
I have their volume maxed
until next patch. I wanted to just lead with that, but there are so many things happening here that it's not really gonna. It's not really gonna. We're gonna give you a lot. She'll be here very soon, but we got a lot to show you today. But how about we start off with a video that y'all have seen before? Let's get into it.
Monster.
I think BTS is live today.
For judgment unworthy.
These lands are ash and blood. And yet, in destruction, there is beauty. In pain, there is healing. And in darkness, there is hope.
He doesn't come out till next month. That god does not come out till next, like a month from now. She's not in the patch today. Understand
that is right.
Next
Season
month.
of Hope, Eshell, so many things to be excited about, and we want to dive right into it. This is the beginning of a brand new season, so let's get into it. I mean, again, the Season of Hope being here means that we're shifting away from the destruction, the Season of Monsters that we started with in year 10. And I mean, you know, we have a roadmap we can show y'all. We've shared this before. This is an updated version. Obviously, we're in the 2nd to 4th
Year 5
here,
of it.
and there's a lot to talk about with the kickoff update of the Season of Hope. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, the new god's coming out next patch, but that is right around the corner, so you don't have to wait too long. We just couldn't help but show y'all because she is pivotal to the way the Season of Hope is formatting in the lore of Smite. So anyway, I think if y'all are ready, you want to get into the first big change happening with the Season of Hope?
We do.
The HUD change. Let's get into it.
So what we have here is affectionately referred to as the HUD update.
The HUD update.
And this is a
It's here.
complete ground-up reworking, reimagining of Smite's in-game HUD.
It's
So
big.
that includes all art, engineering, and design. And this is
So
including
big.
everything inside of a match. That's going
Yeah.
to include the on-screen HUD elements
shit.
like your abilities, your item shown, your mini-map, your allies, your enemies, the scoreboard. It's going to include the entire item shop, scoreboard, tab screen, top stats screen or T screen,
Oh,
the
shit.
death recap screen or Y screen, the ability summary screen or K screen, and of course the HUD editor itself. Just a huge undertaking, something we've been working on in the background for a long time. You know, taking our time, making sure everything's looking good.
Yeah.
Running it
What up,
by
Corey?
Olympians and pros, doing a lot of testing.
Are you still
and
making music,
it's finally
bro?
here to launch in the Season of Hope.
Yeah, I would argue that the only screen we didn't touch was sunscreen because we have been working on this locked inside forever. This is, I mean, our teams have done an incredible
got
job
jokes
with this
today,
change.
y'all. He's got-
I'm
he's
trying.
ready.
I'm trying.
So really
So-
what we wanted to do was provide a more modern,
Yeah.
more sleek visual design for Smite's HUD. A lot of people have felt like it felt a little bit dated. Obviously, it's something people are very used to, something
Yeah.
people were accustomed to. So anytime there's some changes, there's going to be some getting used to it.
Of course.
We expect that. We wanted to focus specifically on the in-game experience, so that's an important thing for all y'all watching out there. Sometimes when people hear about HUD or UI reworks, they might imagine it involving other parts of the game. So we did not make any changes to the client, as we refer to it. So that is the home screen, play screen, God screens, all of those out-of-game screens. Those weren't part of this update.
Got it.
The goal was specifically to focus on the in-game UI elements.
Yeah, and that we did. There are so many in-game UI elements that have changed that we didn't think we could do justice just talking about it. So we're going to dive in-game and look at some of these right up close and share them with y'all. Let's check it out.
Ooh, look at that.
Already looking pretty.
Important
What
note
the
that these
fuck?
changes are going to be big changes on console and PC.
And PC. Yeah, so now, for the first time ever, maybe, both
Wait,
console
we're
and
a
PC
mobile
are
game
their
now?
shared
What
client.
the
So
fuck
that's
is this?
Every bit. Editor, the look, the feel, like, do what you want with it. But let's get into it one at a time. Starting with, just talk over what we're seeing here on the screen and what's changed.
Yeah, so first, you can just see the your stats in the bottom left, your items, your gold, your god avatar, your KDA, your experience level, your abilities and health bars, etc. Mini map and the scoreboard. So, not
I do not
a
like
whole
this
ton of
at
anything
all.
super flashy, but you will notice that the art has been redone. There's a lot more. Let's say it's a lot more specific
pretty
in
cool.
its intention and its design. Old Smite HUD had these really blocky, chunky elements that
Yeah.
were built within these really big borders, really thick. These are a lot more sleek and thin, and they're also a little bit more modular. So as you
Yeah.
can see, kind of your items and your stats and your gold, those are all individual elements, which you might not notice right here at first or might not matter to you, but when you get into the HUD editor, those become very important because you can now change and edit and relocate those things all individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When historically they were all attached together.
Yeah, so you guys that love doing the crazy HUDs.
Oh, I'm gonna be remaking my HUD 100%.
The opacity of each and every individual element. You can do all of that and more.
Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to some incredible HUD layouts on Twitter, by the way.
So one of the first things, the improved cooldown flow. So if you fire an ability, we have updated the way the abilities will show that they're on cooldown. This was something that was often brought up a lot. People said it was sometimes hard to tell right when abilities were coming on or off cooldown.
The audio.
Now you're
That's
gonna
cool.
see
That's
the,
smoother though. I
icon
like
being
that.
fully grayed out until the very end, and you're also going to see the milliseconds when you get to the last second to give you an extra indicator that is coming off cooldown soon. A lot more extra
Oh
clarity.
yeah, look at
there.
Dual Lane.
We have some changes to the chat screen and the kill feed, which if our driver spawns a bot and kills, you'll see,
no,
or if they
Dual Lane's
type
the same,
something or
right?
use a VGS. We can also
The
see
back
something.
cams are different.
So you now see your god avatar.
What the fuck is
in the
that?
chat screen,
Ooh.
as well as some other adjustments to the
Bro,
chat.
the jungle is so
sizing,
open
layout,
again.
text space, and stuff like that. And we also have a
Around those back
kill
cams.
feed. So we'll have a
Yeah,
different
Anubis
way
can
to
wander-
show
move
if
during
you're
his one.
going to get some kills or not. So you get the big pop-up, but if you don't like that big one, you can also use the one in the top left that's smaller.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And that one will remain a little longer, so when those busy fights are happening and you can't keep track of who's going down,
Yeah.
who got what kill, that's all there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
a
I
fucking
mean, there's a lot
chest.
to look at, so we'll keep moving.
Yeah, keep rolling.
Item shop. Let's open up the item shop.
Oh,
So
back
this
to the
is a
base.
completely new item shop. Obviously, we designed with the current habits in mind. We're trying to design a HUD
I don't like the
not
colors.
just completely new for the sake of being new, but one that has a lot of
Like
the same
the
patterns,
navy
a lot of
blue,
the, same
the blue
experiences
on
you're gonna
navy
have
blue
currently, but with
looks horrible.
just improved art spacing, trying to get more items on screen.
I just
easier
don't like
clarity as to
the
which items
colors.
you can
I
see
like
when.
the
We
layout's
have a
fine.
lot
I
of
mean, it's pretty
features that
mad,
came
but
into
I don't like
this
the
one.
colors.
Most important thing to note is console players are now going to see this item store.
Oh,
Yep.
Not going to
big.
be the old split one.
Yeah.
It will have full console navigation, very similar to what they had before, but instead of those nested rows of cycling items and sometimes like that, and different tabs between categories that were a little harder to see, they will now see the full list of categories and the full items in the list. And they can just use the D-pad and other shortcuts to navigate them.
Yep.
We now have a dedicated button for purchasing glyphs, so those are called out much more specifically when you click through them. We're not going to go through every single updated feature on the show today. We're just going to look at a couple, but
Of
you can
course.
see here there's the glyph section and the additional glyph items. And we also have the widely requested new filters such as healing bolstering items,
that's
which we'll get
dope.
to later, and healing reduction filters. So you can just
Oh,
click a single
what an
filter
item.
to find your anti-heal
That was a new item.
items without having to memorize where they are.
So good. I've already seen so many things I love. I saw like that side tab being used for consumables. You could like scroll the shop and have
I like that
consumables
glyph
on the
thing.
side. That
You can
So much like that.
multi-filter items, so you can filter by and. So if you want power and attack speed, you can click both of the squares and only see items that have both. We didn't used to have that. Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff in the item shop.
Absolutely incredible. So, oh man, I'm excited. Keep going. What else you got to show?
So next is the scoreboard tab screen. This one just mostly an aesthetic and design rework. Looks a little empty here because we don't have a full 10 players in the bot match. But of course, you'll see that when that happens. You don't have any items yet. But some other things we have are a new section that shows total kills on objectives, such as Gold Fury and Fire Giant kills per team.
What?
As well as kill bounty and kill streak call out, so you can quickly see in the tab screen who's going to be worth more when you kill them by seeing their kill streak and that bonus gold that you'll get for killing them.
That's actually sick. What the
we
fuck?
have a completely
I like
redone
that.
death recap screen that has a lot more detailed information. Which
this is actually pretty dope.
Doesn't get shown super
job,
well
Iris.
here in this situation unless we're in a complicated team
I'm not
fight.
going to complain
with
about more
with
info, no
lots of
matter how it
different
looks.
Sources coming through, but it is going to show you breakdowns between magical and physical damage by god, how many gods have dealt you damage. It's going to also display what types of CC effects you were hit by on your way to your death to help give you some additional information about why you died or who killed you. It's going to have individual scrolling sections per god. So when you see this, you can see killed by Anubis. That's going to have their own gods. They're going to be in vertical columns across the number of different gods that hit you. And if it hits you with a bunch of different stuff, you'll be able to actually scroll. You can see that Mummify has the stun call out there. A lot of cool new features on this.
Yeah, wow.
And you can see the individual ability that kills you by that sword
I was going to say, the sword shows you what ability. That's
and you
incredible.
can also see the breakdown between magical and physical and true damage as well. You see that total damage bar would be broken down by those individual damage types as well.
Right.
And it's got a lot of information to tell you exactly what killed you.
We also have the T-screen, mostly just an aesthetic and design update, mostly functionally the same. We have the ability screen, similar kind of story there. There are a couple little features here for gods with really longer abilities. There will be scrolling on the screen, so you can make sure you can scroll. They don't get cut off by the text there.
Yeah.
There's been some just general organization and display changes. And of course, though, the most important and most exciting for most people here at the very end, the HUD editor, which we won't spend too much time editing the HUD in this demo here, but the HUD editor is now going to be fully supported.
Oh, you
on
can move
console. You'll be able
every
to
little
make
thing. That's
every
sick.
single
You
type
heard
of
it.
change
Oh,
and
that's
number of
sick.
changes that the PC players can use.
It does look mobile,
You'll be
but the fact that you
able to
can move it
better
around
preview changes
completely,
without mixing HUD
we're
element.
chilling. That's sick.
A lot more of these HUD elements have been split into more modular assets so they can be individually
fucking
resized
sick.
and editable. We also have a couple special extra options nested in a couple of these, like health bars. Let's see. Changing things to be able to be vertical versus horizontal. A lot of stuff you'll be able to play in there. Look, you can split out consumables versus relics at different locations. A lot of different cool stuff in the HUD editor. But I know most people are out there cheering for console, so we have wanted this for a long time too. So very glad to find.
It's actually kind of sick.
Final note about the HUD update is just that HUD skins are going to be temporarily disabled. You will still have them. You'll be able to see them in your loadout. You'll be able to see your ownership of them, but there will be a warning message there to notify you that if you equip a HUD skin, it's not going to actually change the art of your HUD. For now, all HUD skin owners are going to retain the ownership of those items, and there are going to be HUD skins. We're going to make a demonic Anubis skin for this HUD. Those are just going to be coming in future updates. So we'll be, keep an eye on the upcoming patch notes to tell you which HUD skins will be ready to use again. And this
Bro,
also
we're going to
means
have a
that
HUD competition.
now have the possibility to create new HUD skins.
That's HUD's going to win
That's
gems.
exciting.
For a very long time.
Yeah,
Where's
definitely
HUD?
know that.
We didn't want to make new HUD skins because we were
gonna get
currently reworking the HUD, so it didn't really make a lot of sense to rework something we're just going to have to rework again.
Yeah.
But now that we have it here, we're going to get through the backlog of those HUD skins, and then hopefully within a few months here, we'll have some new HUD skins available to be unlocked to purchase.
Yay.
Yeah, so the first big update we're happy to share with y'all, again, like we've talked about it, this is something that we've heard y'all, the community, reach out for, and we've been working on it for a long time. It turns out Rome was not built in a day, and neither was our new HUD, but it looks incredible. It's extremely modular. It's for our console homies too, because we wanted to make sure that they had the exact same experience shared between us. There's just so much. So really excited about it, and we're going to move forward now because there's still so much more to talk about with the Season of Hope, starting with a new battle pass called Duality. But let's do something different. It's a new season. We got a new update show format. Let's see the skins for this battle pass.
B
right up
from
front.
the OB? B from the OB. Why was your name so hard for me to read? Thank you, dude. Holy shit. It just kept going. Oh, what is
I
this?
think this world needs just a little bit of chaos.
There is power here.
There's another. What? Look at his little arms. Look at his little dinky arms. Yeah, he looks like Shmibo.
Shall be fun. The forest is in pain. I will never forgive the harm these intruders have caused.
Bow before me.
Oh, that's a. Oh, I like that King Arthur skin. I actually really like the colors on that King Arthur skin.
Blood will be spilled this day. This chaos is unsettling. This world needs
Wait,
someone.
they're giving
to
us
return
recolors
it
for the
to
main
order.
skins in the same thing? I'm so confused.
With knowledge and determination, we will succeed. The forest is in pain. I must.
Wait, I'm
heed
so
its
confused.
call
Why are we
and
getting
come to it
recolors?
at once.
Wait, they didn't even show the King Arthur. Did King
That's
Arthur
right.
not have a
What
recolor?
you just saw was the Duality Battle Pass, and you saw a lot of skins for it too. As with
Is there
moving from the
more
Season of
skins
Monsters,
than
Season
that?
of Hope, we wanted something that represented that dark and light, the shift, and that's where the Duality Battle Pass comes in. There will be a darker and a lighter version of several of these skins, which we're excited for y'all to see. Also, the new video. I hope y'all liked that. We're playing around with the way we share information with y'all and get to showcase stuff to make it even more epic. So make sure that you let us know how you feel about that, because we were really excited about it. I think it looks really cool. So to get into this Battle Pass real quick, Season of Hope is bringing Battle Pass changes. And I'm not just talking about what is in the Battle Pass, although that's a part of it. This new Battle Pass is going to be different in that it is 30 levels longer. Goodbye, 60-level Battle Pass. Hello, 90-level Battle Pass. So that's pretty big. The Battle Pass is going to last a little longer as well. It lasts the duration of the season, so 11 to 14 weeks. We just, it just made sense for us to move it that way. And it's overall bigger. So one thing that does mean is that the Battle Pass will cost 200 more gems to account for the fact that it is so much bigger, but fret not. If you're completing the paid Battle Pass track, if you spend those gems to get the paid Battle Pass, you will also earn 200 more gems for completing the Battle Pass. So we made sure we accounted for that, for all of that. But we just wanted to give y'all more to work towards and a bigger better Battle Pass. It's kind of hard to say. Say that 7 times fast.
Bigger, better, Battle Pass.
Bigger, better, better. Yeah, so we just saw a lot of skins, and those were pretty incredible. Again, we have the light and the dark themes, which I'm really excited about. I think it's really cool. And, there's just... I like Zeus skins. I like him floating up out of that book.
That Zeus skin is so cool.
It's
super
200 more,
cool.
but like
So,
you only pay 200 once because you'll
really
keep
excited
getting them
about
back.
that. And let's take a closer look at one of those. Let's take a look at that Zeus skin. I want to see the card art for it. Ooh. So this one is Arcane Wizard Zeus, not to be confused with the Arcane Charmer, which is the
There's
more
already a
light
recolor?
blue good
Wait,
guy.
why
I
would
guess,
they drop
version you'd say,
recolors
based
in a
on the
battle
color
pass?
scheme, but I love the floating
dumb.
out of the book thing. That is so cool to me.
Yeah, this is such a unique look for Zeus. He's got that kind of ethereal, but not quite human look to him, where he's got no legs. He doesn't need legs.
No legs.
He's floating.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a completely new theme for Smite, which is always really exciting.
Yeah, and it's one of those where Smite has a lot of content in it, right? We've been around for a long time, so being able to find something like how our teams continue to work together and find these new things that are completely alien to what we already have in Smite is incredible. It's a feat of magic. So just really, really excited to see this, and really excited for this newer, longer Battle Pass. It is going to be so much fun. You're going to have to work for it too, If you thought you were working for the last one, it's a little longer, so you don't have to work super hard, but it's going to be, make sure to check out the quests, make sure to check out the content available, and the update notes if you want all of the information on that. But there's still more to talk about. Cool Battle Pass, nice. Incredible HUD update, nice. What next? How about a new map? How about we have more revisions for the Season of Hope Conquest map? Let's check it out.
At the chess camp?
That's right. We have reworked the visuals for the Conquest map to reflect the Season of Hope, and we're super excited to talk about it, honestly. As with all of these changes, they're very big, so, I mean, let's get into some of it. AJ, if you want to take over, let's talk about the new Conquest map, the Season of Hope Conquest map.
Yeah, so each season we want to define with some strong changes to Conquest.
Yeah.
That's going to include 3 core pillars, right? One is an art and environment update, which you saw the sunset lighting or sunset lighting.
Yeah.
I was right.
Rainbows, colorful glowing foliage and emissive water across the map.
Yeah.
Just
So pretty.
getting us ready for our next goddess to arrive.
True that.
The other one is pathing changes. So we have core geometry changes to the map. That is, in this map, you're going to see that in the back Harpies area mostly, but in the future, who knows what we could be changing. Lane shape, objective areas, you never know. It's always going to be something, though.
Yeah.
And then finally, a new mechanic. So we'll get into all those details in just a minute. First of all, this is kind of a new mechanic, but this is a pretty
Okay.
important change here. We have some changes to the kill bounty system.
Got it.
This is going to be very important and impactful to Conquest, but is actually going to apply to all game modes. So, even if you're not a huge Conquest main, pay attention to this one.
Yeah, this one's for everybody.
We're going to be making some adjustments to make sure that kind of the kill streak and especially shutdown features feel especially good. We've always had some feedback about, when someone really gets ahead with a crazy lead, it's really hard to catch up, or it's really, killing them doesn't really feel that rewarding.
Yeah.
So we are making 2 big changes. The first one is a slight adjustment to the actual tuning already. The game already has a bit of tuning where killing someone lower level than you, lower value in gold, earns you a little less, or killing someone higher gets you a little bit more. We're going to be tuning that slightly, so when someone way ahead kills someone lower, they're going to get even less than they used to. When you kill someone higher, you're going to get a little more than you used to. And then we're also adding an additional bonus for a shutdown bonus. So this is if you kill someone who's on a kill streak. We're now going to have a really cool global accolade for that kill streak.
Wait,
so all 4 teammates will receive assist rewards, even if they're out of range or dead. So this is really to make sure that a shutdown would give a lot to the person who got the kill.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you don't want to be mad at your guardian for
It's
kill
actually
stealing
kinda
or something
crazy,
like
holy
that. This
shit.
is going to spread the love around the team a little
That's
bit
it.
more.
You get a
When
lot
take
of gold when you
out
kill somebody
that
who has a lot of
opponent
kills
who's like
right
10-0,
out.
Yeah.
but
we want to make
that
sure
makes
you're
sense.
rewarded for it and it makes sense and they don't just respawn and come back to do it again, right?
Bro, if you're 10-0,
these
do
are,
not fucking die.
Smaller economic changes,
Sit in
but
the
they do
back.
have potential to have a big impact.
Rather YouTube
For
specific
sure,
content,
yeah.
so thought I'd
And then when we
reason
get
once
into
again.
Conquest, there's a lot of different goals we had. We've been looking at each of the roles individually, trying to look at what types of changes we want to make. It's hard to make adjustments to anything in a vacuum because all of MOBAs and Smite and Conquest, everything is so interconnected. When you make a change
everything's
here,
part of everything.
it has a chance to affect other changes elsewhere. So one of the biggest changes is with the back Harpies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back Harpies are now going to respawn twice as fast, but be worth half as much. So this is a proportional shift, right? So it's same net total,
Yeah.
but you have to be there to kill them twice as often.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might be
So it's
thinking,
harder to farm.
What does that actually mean?
Yeah,
What it
what's
means
the
is your
point?
jungler is going to need to jungle more. And won't
Yeah,
just
you're
be able
literally
to
have
sit
to be in the
lane
jungle
ganking,
more.
right? We wanted to encourage a lot more aggression, a lot more fighting in season.
No,
in,
what it's going to
Season of
mean
Monsters.
Yeah.
is as a
But you
jungler,
gotta
my
overstep
dual
that
lane's
just
going to
a little bit,
fucking
as
take that
often
camp.
happens when you're dealing with live games.
Because I'm not going to be there
And
when it respawns.
We've heard the feedback about
They're gonna
jungler
jack it.
just in my lane 24/7 all the time. So they're going to have to move back to those back Harpies more frequently now to keep their farm up. It's not going to take them out of the ganking entirely. We don't want that to happen. We want them still to be doing that, but we don't want it to be as free as it was before.
Okay.
That, of course, has a big ripple effect on a lot of different roles.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It spreads everywhere.
Mid lane is going
Just be
back
there
to
then.
those,
Nah, I might be killing your
frequency.
ass.
Duo lane is doing that as well. Even solo lane rotating over there too. So there is a lot of change that can come from just that
course.
one
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's gonna lead us into oh man, there's a couple.
There's
different
so
ways to
many,
look at
right? Yeah.
this.
It's like, where do you branch off of to talk about next?
The so along with the back harpy value being so
Yeah.
important here, we also that's where a lot of the
Hello? The fuck?
Okay.
and it opens up a little bit more space to fight just north and south of the Fire Giant and Gold Fairy space and
Yeah.
around the
Is this high res?
Yeah.
To add on to
Popular
that,
spots.
Yeah, the roaming harpies are also affected by that as well because as
Okay.
some of you know that play Conquest, the roaming harpies at the current moment take this very long path all the way around that large rock.
Yeah.
So with the changes there, it's going to be a bit of a shorter path, so you're not as punished for being 2 seconds late to the rotation there. You're
They
going to
must
be
be
able
on
to
a
catch them on the
PTS
way
server.
around.
I think we need to take a break just for a second. It seems like Twitch might be having some problems.
Ah,
so,
it is them.
Yeah, I guess we'll just hold for a minute.
Twitch isn't having problems. Don't blame Twitch.
See
I'm
y'all in
chilling.
a second, I guess. Oh, too many.
Chat lighting us up right now.
Season of Hope's got too many things.
Couldn't get in game.
We are live though, so you know we're just hanging out, I guess. Just
We're in live. I
chilling.
thought we were gonna throw to something.
Yeah, we're throwing.
Dude, what if Ajax did some fucked up shit?
Struggling. Hope y'all are enjoying it. Again, the update show's kind of new looking.
That would have been gold.
We've definitely been playing for it. So we're gonna
Someone
take a
picks their
break and just
nose,
wait for
dude.
things to settle out. We'll see y'all in just a minute.
Bro, 5 minutes? Bro, you guys fucking had to refresh real quick. 5 minutes? All right, well, if you watch this on YouTube, skip ahead 4 minutes. I ain't editing out this 3-hour video. 5 minutes? All right, the HUD editor, bro, we're making a new fucking HUD. I'm 100% making a new HUD. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I literally don't have a single idea, but I'm moving everything around in some way, shape, or form. 100%. The HUD is questionable as it is, but the fact that you can move it however you want could be pretty cool. That could be dope. I got 4 minutes, bro. 4 minutes. I don't know if you guys saw what I assume the back camp is not a back camp anymore. It looked like it was the fucking little chest guys. I assume HUD guide for dummies, maybe. But yeah, that back camp is different. So I'm wondering, or there's a chest camp somewhere if it's not the back camp. Tally, what in the world is that? Oh my god, I wish that wasn't a thing. Wait, they stole your idea, Tally. What the hell? Oh wait, they skipped ahead. I think, or was it already been 5 minutes? They changed the timer. No, they haven't done any god changes yet. No item changes. It's just the HUD, the layout, some cool stuff. The map color changes. KD, thank you for the 5 months, KD. Time travel? Yeah, I fast forwarded IRL. They haven't gone over Anubis' one change, my guy. They just were on Anubis. Right? Here we go.
All right, well, welcome back. It's me again. And, you know, things happen like that, such as the internet. I'm just happy that I'm able to sit here and talk to people instead of back in the old days when we were doing it from home for a while, and I would have just been sitting at my computer like... So, either way, yeah, it was very awkward. So either way, we're back and ready to continue talking about the Conquest map. And you know what? Now that we're back, let's just keep going. Let's go so far deep. Let's go into the map. We're gonna check out the map
Here we
in
go.
person.
A little rat.
What's
So
all that?
I was talking a lot about back harpies and the specific economic impacts of them, which I'm sure was very interesting to everybody. But what we're going to see that's even more interesting here is the new mechanic, which we're introducing in place of the Gold Fury side back harpies. They are the Cyclops Thieves. So these are, you know, a similar character you might have seen before, like the Cyclops Rogues, but these guys have a special bonus feature.
All right.
And what they do is something we've never really quite done in Smite, and that is that they have a scaling reward based on how ahead or behind your team is.
What?
Okay.
So the Cyclops Thieves, as your opponents get every 1,000 gold ahead in net gold your opponents are, the Cyclops Thieves will not literally steal from them,
Yeah,
but they will. The
figuratively.
Cyclops Thieves will have an additional treasure chest enemy that spawns in their camp to kill that will give you more gold.
Okay.
What?
So
the
if your team is
fuck?
behind by thousands of gold, you can see up to 5 different chests. It'll be the 3 thieves plus 5 unique chests. that
So an
each all
extra
have
like
to be
50
killed.
gold?
And these killing these chests has an additional unique effect where it doesn't just give your team some gold, it actually distributes the gold amongst your team, giving the most to the lowest.
What?
The lowest gold.
Bro,
team member.
if this shit
Okay.
works
So you
and
kind of
isn't
get the
broken, I'll
double
be
split
mind
here.
blown.
If your team is falling behind, you can kill those chests.
Bro,
to
I'm
get a
invading
little
that
bit of
shit
bonus.
on cooldown. You're
And
never
every
getting
time
that camp
anyone
if
who
I'm
kills
ahead.
those, whoever's behind on your team the most is going to get the most.
Yeah, what happens if I
Yeah,
steal
try to
it?
catch them up a little
Yep.
bit.
Now, this is also a very important thing to keep in mind if you're the winning team.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily an anti-snowball feature. If you keep a close
This
eye
is
on
gonna
it
be
as
an
the
extra
opposition
snowball
and you go in
feature.
there and invade
I'm
and
double
destroy those
snowballing
chests
on your
before
ass.
before that other
My
team can.
support is gonna be
So
killing you.
If you, we do have a little bit of a invade tweak there, which is if enemies kill the chests, they're not going to get any gold or reward for those. It's purely a denial.
Aw.
Got it. Okay.
So a very unique thing to replace here in these
No, that
Gold
makes
Fury
sense.
Gold Fury side back harpies. Now, when that mechanic's
Did they make
not in
those
play,
walls
like when the
taller?
match is close for a long time, which happens plenty of times. A lot of
Oh,
our
yeah.
play tests,
Yeah.
it stayed very close. You won't see any
This is
chest
an
fall.
option where you
Then
have
it
to-
works the same as a back harpy camp. It's the same respawn time, same net value as a back harpy camp.
Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna be honest. I think
And the important thing
I
about
like
that
the
is, too,
brighter
is that you're gonna have
side.
to keep a really close
Like
eye
this
on
other
those
side of the map when it was
respawn
bright,
timers,
like right now in live.
knowing
I like
the
it better.
amount of
I don't
chests
like
that
this
are
darkness.
There, it's going to be really, really important. As
This
shit is
well to make
depressing
sure,
as
You know,
fuck.
you're distributing the wealth, like AJ was talking about, but also that you're planning your.
I
invades
really like the
accordingly.
brighter
A lot of
maps,
times we've seen
not the
people
darker
try and
maps.
go for the green buffs or the buffs that are closer to the center.
I like
This
the
one's
colors
just close
overall.
enough
I just like
that
a brighter
you can
map.
get to it. You can sneak in there, steal the chests, and run away. But it's going to be a little bit tougher. So you've got to make sure that if you're going to go for it, you've got the whole team on your back.
Yeah.
It'll be a
awesome.
new place to ward. It'll be a new focal point for supports and junglers to pay some extra attention to. Kind of how some additional similar play patterns as we saw maybe from the Obelisk last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
This kind of brings up some ways of that, but in a way that we
I
think is
never
a lot
really
more
noticed
dynamic
this.
and
That's
balanced.
water,
Yeah,
right?
and
Why does
I
it look
I
like
love the idea
shit?
of having another objective for a team that maybe has fallen behind or is bad early game to, if they are, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, getting and making sure that they're catching up, doing everything they can to pull themselves out of the trenches. Because I'm one of those people who I fight to the bitter end, and having a way to bring the game back within arm's length.
F7 crew, huh?
Yeah, but awesome. So yeah, and I mean, just beyond all that, though, obviously, looking at how beautiful this map is, I love.
there's
all
still
of this,
chests.
all of the water everywhere,
Right?
all
Or
of
is that
the,
part of the camp? There's still chests.
glowing
That's
plants and everything, just absolutely beautiful. So before we hop
Still
out, is there
movements,
anything
dude.
else
Okay,
big
cool.
that you'd like to call
I
out?
thought those are gone.
Yeah, let me just rattle off a couple other changes real
Let's
quick. We
rattle
talked
them
a bit
off.
about back harpies and jungle and this new mechanic. The other focal points we wanted to adjust was mid lane was also getting a little ahead further than we intended. So the mid harpies that spawn in those two mid camps before Oracles and Pyromancer, those are only going to spawn 2 harpies instead of 3.
Okay.
Should be a little bit of experience in gold.
Good, now they
decrease
don't
for
fucking
mids
won't
and
kill me
also junglers.
when I try to do them by
We're getting
myself.
very ahead in the whole map right now.
Yeah.
We're kind of treating carry as like the balanced baseline. They're in the right spot, so we're taking mids and jungles down to their level.
Yeah.
Also bringing up solo, so solo is going to see more value added to that silver camp that they're going to be contesting over.
Okay.
It's going to be worth more golden experience for killing.
Yeah,
as
we're
are their
hunting
blue
down.
buff mobs.
As a
It's gonna be
jungler,
worth
I'm just
more
gonna go take
golden
the silver
experience
camp.
So that's going to make invading even more important if you want to win your solo lane.
Got it.
In general, we wanted to make the solo lane more impactful
Yeah.
based on could you win it early, right? So we wanted to make there be more economic impact if you're really outplaying your opposing solo laner. So
Yeah, if you're
that
putting in the work.
extra value is going to come into play there, as is some changes to the totem,
Ooh,
which is
the
now going to have a
totem.
larger radius and a higher damage bonus threat buff radius. So
Okay.
especially dangerous to fight around that
Yeah,
totem.
owning the totem zone, very important.
Yeah, give you some more chances to kill it.
Got it.
Let's see. We have a couple other smaller changes. Some tweaks to Fire Giant, changing its respawn time, which I think it was a fun experiment, but we saw some flaws in that, so it's being reverted back to what it was
Yeah,
before.
bringing it back.
Making some adjustments.
Wait, they're going back to
Gold Fairy
5
and Pyromancer
minutes?
to make them harder to body block or kite in some weird ways,
Yes.
making sure
Yeah.
you have to fight them
Yes,
head on.
that's a very important one.
We're gonna make tower bastions just a little bit tankier,
Okay.
so they don't get cleared quite too
Yeah,
soon.
grind down right away.
We're gonna make tier 1 towers do more damage to gods.
Ooh.
Give you a little bit more of that
Let's
early
go.
game invaded dive protection.
yeah.
The roaming back harpies, as Lermy called out earlier, those changing in their pathing point. We're also adding a new roaming harpies
Okay.
that on the Fire Giant side actually roam, and they roam across from order into chaos and back around before. So if you really pay attention and make some close, tight rotations, you can actually steal more from your opponent's
Yeah, snipe them from
because
your
they come
opponent.
right to you.
Yes, these
that's
ones
crazy.
are really fun too because they're also on the duo side, and so they cross paths basically.
Oh yeah, they are on both sides.
Yes.
Sorry.
They cross paths basically going in opposite directions. So there is a time when both
Dang.
harpies will end up right next to that silver camp or on the other side right next to the gold camp. And if you catch them at the right time, That's a little bit
It
of
feels
extra
so
for you.
good
Yeah.
with the unleashed mechanics and the roaming. It
Oh,
feels
yeah.
so good when you just get to scoop them all up,
Yeah.
just drag them all to a camp, and you clear it all at once. It's great. And the last change in here, which is really, it's just kind of a god change hidden in the Conquest section,
Yeah.
but we are nerfing the magical basic attack damage from the purple buff. So that's just a mage ADC nerf.
Okay.
So could have thrown that in the gods or item section, but it's really
Yeah, just
it's a
sprinkle
magical
it in
ADC
here.
nerf, but it had to go in the Conquest section because it made sense.
Specifically in Conquest.
Yeah, a lot of shifts to each and every role. We're going to see some different changes in the economic impact as well as the map prioritization from each and every role. That's what we want to see from each season this year. And so
Yeah.
I thought they were
wanna make
changing
sure that we
timers or
have
something at the start of the
different
game.
economic things to pay attention to, different objectives to pay attention to, potentially different play styles, different paths.
This is something about different starts.
So many things. Like there are all of these defined updates, and then so many things that touch so many other things because of the essence of MOBAs. It's like we had this big pool of change and just sprinkled in some more change. So absolutely wild. So that was the map change. We've gone over some incredible stuff, but I'm just gonna keep saying it. We're not done yet. Season of Hope still has more to offer, starting with an incredible new event coming out with the Season of Hope next week called Hope Reborn. Let's check out the skins from that event.
No more Mrs. Nice Gal.
What the fuck?
My backup singers always have my back.
What the
Always one
fuck?
step ahead. Showing mercy is for the weak.
I'm so confused.
Come, the jungle awaits. What are the likes of you doing at this classy venue?
Aphrodite just got 5 skins?
This world is home to many species. But I wonder which
No, those Aphrodite skins are not trash. You guys are trolling.
delicious
The
meal
skins are good. I didn't know it was good. Oh, is it the tier 5?
the ruthless
What the fuck?
to the employees.
We got Scooby-Doo in this bitch.
You're fired.
We got Grandpa Scooby-Doo. Oh, shit. The 18th Ymir skin put in the game. It's actually dope looking.
Fight. Let's get on with it.
That's a sick-ass weapon.
I'd love to have you over for some tea at my cottage. Witches get a bad rep. I'ma change that. Oh, don't worry. My dragons don't bite. Hard.
I'm totes gonna get the most kills in this game. Why would you take me seriously?
The vengeful night, Surtur. This world is forsaken order and abandoned justice. Perhaps it can be salvaged, but only by
Hot
my
topic
hand.
finish. Yo, what the shit? So it's got to be tier 5 Afro getting 5 skins,
Wow,
right?
that was a lot. I don't know why I said that way. That was a lot of skins. I'm so excited. Like I have all this energy that I just can't keep it in. So a lot of cool skins you just saw there from the Hope Reborn event, a huge event with a lot of stuff going on. And I'm excited to talk about it, but I'm also excited to introduce somebody new joining us on this set. We have Clumsy here. So you know him, you love him. And then Lermy, still hanging out, still keeping it cool. We just holding it down. So let's get into the event. The Hope Reborn event is similar to some of the summertime events that we've hosted in the past, in that this is a 3-chapter event spanning several updates. It's a Season of Hope type deal, and it's going to have a lot of incredible cosmetics released throughout that time, as well as the brand new T5 skin, which y'all saw right at the beginning of that, Leading Lady Aphrodite. So a super incredible skin that the team has been just super jazzed to work on. There's so much love went into that. And it's in a theme that we're all really, really proud of, that kind of cartoon style that we've seen in other skins. So just an absolutely incredible tier 5. So each chest throughout each chapter of this event has chests containing cosmetics for the event, and you can direct buy the cosmetics or roll them from the chest and work towards unlocking that T5 skin as you progress through the event. Purchasing any of the items, whether it's through the rolls or through
See, okay,
the,
you guys are shitting on the
buying
tier 5
directly,
skin, but you haven't
will
seen
help
any of the
work towards
abilities.
That T5 skin,
Abilities
which,
make or
again, is
break
kind of
tier
like the
5
highlight
skins.
of
You have to
it's a
understand
really
that.
big, awesome thing. So this is what the event's actually
If
going
they
to
did
look
some
like.
cool shit with the abilities,
and
it
you'll
will not
able
be the
to
worst
see
tier 5 skin.
all of the available cosmetics, roll the chest, or purchase them directly as
Who
you
cares if
see
it's
fit,
Afro? All the
completely up
healers
to
are
you,
getting changed in
and
this
work
patch.
towards the reward that is the T5 skin.
Shit might be OP.
You can also, as it says right there in the bottom, click the buy all button, and if you do the buy all option,
Grandpa
you will unlock
Scooby-Doo.
everything through the entire event. So like all of that right there, you'll have all of the available skins delivered to you immediately, right away, including the brand new T5 skin in your pocket as soon as you click buy all. And then as the other
damn,
updates
6,000
come out, you can see
gems.
there's a scroll bar there because there's a lot more content. As this content comes out in later patches throughout the rest of the Season of Hope, you will also have all of that the moment it releases in the live game. So pretty well worth it. And fun enough, actually.
Yeah, I actually
This
think that
is,
tier 5 looked pretty
with the way
solid,
the event
but
works,
the abilities make or
also
break tier
a
5
slight
skins.
bit cheaper than it was in the past. So you'll notice the buy all option just a little cheaper, not in the discounted price as well, but in the total overall price. So you still get the same T5 and a bunch of cool stuff, just a tiny bit cheaper, which is always good, you know.
I mean, those skins are insane.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I was about to
pick
say,
it
there's
personally.
All right, those
so
skins are
much
not
insanity.
insane.
Like how cool are all of those? And I
Calm
love
it
the
down.
new videos we have too.
Calm it down.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Those are
And I mean,
good.
this event has so much, right? It's got Martichoras'
Use
first
standard
skin,
words.
Surtur's
That's
first
true.
skin, Leading Lady Aphrodite. I mean, what else could you want?
What else could you want? I'd want to look at some of these skins a little closer, actually. And I think one of them that I'd like to look at, and we'll start with the card art, is the Morgan Le Fay skin we saw in there.
Oh,
Some of y'all might not
so
have
cute.
recognized.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Why are we
Yeah,
looking
look
at
at that.
each
That's
skin
so cool.
individually?
It's
We just
incredible.
saw them
Like
all.
That dragon too. It looks like
Little
fall.
dragon friend.
Like those like leaf-looking scales.
Like eating from the picnic basket.
It is.
Hungry.
Like
Just trying to
mushrooms.
gather some mushrooms.
Why are we doing a breakdown of every fucking card art and every goddamn skin?
Cottage
Can I fast
core
forward?
self. That is honestly my vibe. I cannot wait till I'm like, I don't know, 70 and I am living in a cottage eating mushrooms out of a basket.
Skin's
So,
not
With the
fire.
dragon?
It looks
I'll be
like a normal
imagining the
skinning
dragon.
game.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of jokes there. How about we go in game and check this out in game?
Oh, look at her with the little magic
I like the
wand
autos,
sword.
It's so
but like the
Magic
skin is
wand sword,
it's
yeah,
pretty
that's
standard skin.
Well, they're gonna run
Was
away
it like
forever.
They're gone.
a flower patch that came up underneath that ability?
Card
That's
art
super
from
cool.
Smite is always fire, dude.
Also, I know we've already talked about it, but it's also fun seeing all these.
Card
new
art
skins
is not what it
coming
looks like in game
Oh
though.
yeah, true.
up.
Yeah, that's a cute
that
dragon.
came out really well.
Absolutely adorable.
Awesome.
It's crazy seeing the shift too towards more of a light-hearted, like I mean I don't know what her alignment is, but
I mean, she's usually
Oh, that's
pretty
cool. I like
dark,
that.
right? This
Yeah.
is kind of like she's turned cute here.
yeah,
I'm for it.
she has some skins that range from like very angry person to creature of imminent horror, and like
Yeah, next,
shifting into
like,
this
the-
kind
cool.
of fall
Let's go.
time witch thing. Is, I don't know. I absolutely love it. The colors.
We
and
get it.
everything.
Good
We
vibe.
saw all the abilities multiple
Good
times.
vibes.
Come on.
Absolutely incredible. So another skin, because you know I wanted to see this one because I love this one, but could not preview the T5 at least a little bit.
Oh yeah,
so
of course.
let's check out the card art.
Please
for
have good
Leading
abilities on
Lady
this tier 5.
Aphrodite.
This is
It's
genuinely
so
Oh
good.
my gosh.
one of my favorite T5s, if not the favorite T5. This just has so much personality, so much character. I mean, playing 5 different characters is certainly a lot for our leading lady here, but she's doing it pretty well.
Oh yeah, she definitely rocks it for sure. And just seeing the whole cast of different characters, like you said, it's the personality that each one of them has, and they're all kind of in their own way very representative of a very popular, I guess, character throughout cartoon history. You know,
Mhm.
with the Safari, the Jewel Thief, the showroom singer, the I don't know, devil, scary lady. So
The villain.
The
Villain.
villain. Yeah. So an absolutely incredible take, not only on the concept, but for Aphrodite as well, who I don't know, is just a very fun character to play with. So yeah, I think that I think there's a lot of potential here. And you know, before we go in game, I just want to share. I talked a lot with the people who worked on this, and there's a lot of information they shared, such as the sound design is immense. I mean, I asked out.
Yeah, they got Tiny
and
Toon in
had
the
people
back.
tell
They
me
got
that, like,
Cthulhu on the
they sent me
right.
5 paragraphs to talk about
You
worth
guys
of
can't see
audio
Cthulhu, so
stuff.
I'm
I'm not going
covering
to
it.
read all that off, at least not now. But it's so much work went into this, and I think checking it out in game is the only real way to showcase it in all of its glory. So let's get in there.
Look at her.
That's so awesome looking.
You know, this may
Cool
just be the base of it, right? But I still love this take on Aphrodite. I think it is adorable.
Oh, 100%.
Well, and this is
And
one of
she's
those.
got her like Cupid friends.
Yeah, this is one of
Yeah,
those
the
skin
abilities are-
concepts that if it was just this, I mean, it
Okay.
would have been a T5 probably. Oh,
sweet.
it's so good.
Yo,
But,
I'm
like,
gonna
this
hit
concept
that
alone would've
fucking
made
walk
for a
every
great
time I
skin,
style
you
on you
know?
guys. Y'all
So
are
to
fucked.
see this,
You all are fucked,
just
bro. I'm
in the
dancing around
base.
your dead bodies
costume
every
change.
fucking time.
Love that.
No more
She's like
taunting,
the
boys.
showroom singer.
Just Afro special.
And again, it's so cool too because all of these, like each of them, they put a bunch of different work in. This one involves a lot of like jazzy live music feels. There's microphone bumps and a lot of the audio work to emphasize the feeling of a live singer. So like that's part of it that went into this particular version. But there's 5 versions of this skin, which is just, I mean, wild to see.
Yeah, each version has their own little friend as well. So that one was another singer. This one is our jewel thief as well, which has some really fun animations.
Oh, the abilities don't.
That 3, but there's her little
the like logo,
mouse signal,
yeah.
if you will.
Do the abilities not change other than the
so
2?
cool. I mean, again, it's
the
cool.
3's a
how
little
each of
different.
these,
Yeah,
like
they
you said,
are.
they have
Not a
their
lot
little
different.
friend.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's adorable.
And she's doing the like spy action movie thing where they jump through the lasers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing that right there.
It's so cool. Like you said, they all just have such a unique personality.
Oh,
This
that's such
one
a cool
I think is my
vibrant change.
favorite.
Ooh.
Of course.
If I can
Oh,
stay in
look
this
how that.
one
Yeah, they did
forever, I
change
would.
it.
This is like a
That's dope that they
smile.
changed the
It's
look.
just like the neon effects kind of going through there. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Like that like pink and teal, or I don't know what you call. Oh wow, that was awesome.
Neon graffiti. That's what I'm calling
Yeah.
And little skull friends. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
yep,
That's
we're
so
here
pretty.
for that. We are here for that.
Yeah, like the maniacal noises with the fire. Oh man. And now our brave explorer.
And this is our final form of the 5, but this one's still pretty fun. I just think that the like friends and effects here, especially pushing on this more like sandy, watery
that's
effect.
so amazing.
Cool,
And
yeah.
little toucan buddies.
That's so pretty. Yeah, little toucan friends.
Dude, shout out to toucans.
I like the colors on
I
the
just-
devil
Yeah, I
or
mean,
a
like I
villain's
said, there's so
stance,
much
whatever.
to talk about. There's so much love that went into this, both on animation and audio. It's
Yeah, the effects are stellar too. I love that costume change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and each individual skin has its own voice pack as well, so they all
Very cool.
sound different. That's a 5-in-1.
Yeah, there are
by the way.
five voice packs in one. So 5 skins, 5 voice packs, 5 sets of
I think there's gonna be PTS today.
just absolutely incredible.
Unless they troll
and
me.
again, you can get this tier 5 one of 2 ways. You can get things throughout the event, throughout the Hope Reborn event. You know, whether it's rolling the chest, buying the skins
That's
directly,
definitely not the
or
best tier 5.
buy all, have it day 1, have everything.
But it's not
day 1.
complete
which is a
shit
lot.
like some of you guys
It's one of those
said.
where every time the update
There's some
comes out,
bad
you
tier
log in
5
for the first
skins.
time, and it's like, ta-da! You've been given everything.
Everything.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. So make sure to check that out. That event will be dropping next week with the update, which is
Can't
always
believe it.
wild to say. It's been like a year.
Oh,
I
jeez,
don't
that's
know.
so true.
But to say next week with the update is always
You're gonna keep
so
saying that. I'm
wild.
just gonna keep being blown away.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of cool things, and we have more cool things to talk about. And next up, we're getting into some of the meaty stuff, some of the game changer stuff. And by that, I literally mean game changing balance. So let's hop into it. Starting off with some of the healing stuff. Now, we released a closer look blog that kind of demoed some of the things we were going to do, or at least explained what our goals were. But, you know, there's a lot of specifics in this. There are, not to spoil anything, but in total, there were over, 70 item changes, 70 god changes and more item changes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and
it's,
we're
a,
not-
it's a lot of
It's
stuff.
a lot, and we're not going over all that in person because I would like to like die of old age in my house and not in this chair. But so you know, for all of the details, all of the numbers on everything, check out the update notes live now. They have every single detail, and it's a lot of details. But we have some highlights we're going to go over, and let's kick it just, I guess, with goals overall first. What were kind of the general goals going into the Season of Hope?
Right. So like you said, we talked about that a little bit more in depth in the Closer Look blog. Definitely make sure to have a look at that. But in general, we thought this was a great time to address healing. I think even before, I think it's always really interesting to see that even before going into like seasonal changes or large patches, there's always kind of a community sentiment. And even before going into this one, I think there was some threads, some online talks about, what would you like to see different and changed in Smite. And one of the ones that we've always kind of had as a sticking point and we knew we wanted to address in the time now is healing. How does healing work? Where do we as the designers, as the game developers really think that healing could fit in Smite's gameplay? Because it's always kind of been the sore thumb. It's always been like, okay, well, it's either a little bit too strong or lifesteal, whatever it may be, self-healers. And then there's the brawling debuff.
Yeah.
Right, or buff, however you want to pitch that. But and that system, I think, honestly, it did fit in its goal. It fit what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
But we also knew, and we mentioned even at the time, this is something that we're going to address at a later date when we can find a more holistic approach to kind of, one could say, fix healing. So that is the goal, right? That is the marquee pitch of what we're trying to do here in the Season of Hope, right? We're being hopeful for that one.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing to consider as well is that this is something that has taken a long time to develop. We have to make sure that we address every single kind of healing that there is, because there's a lot of different kinds, like you were mentioning. Lifesteal, self-heal, group heal, whatever
There's
it may
just
be.
so many
There's
knock-on
a lot.
effects of these things.
Yeah.
But so overall, the brawling effect is gone, right? So that's a really big change.
F and chat.
And what that also means is, I think we talked about in the blog, and you've seen, we have basically decreased healing across the board from pretty much everyone by about 30%, which is not the exact same as brawling, but there's differences in times where those things are going to happen.
Brawling reduced healing by 30%.
No god left with any magical power scaling, or any
is,
scaling, power
so
scale,
it's gonna be
magical
nerfed
or physical.
in combat.
It just happens to be mostly on magical characters.
Yeah.
In combat healing is going to be lower.
So that's going to really kind of set a new foundation of where we can balance healing from.
Okay.
And with that in mind, it's kind of being the crux of how we're going to
sustain
start.
healing, like
There's,
lifesteal.
like we said, there's so many different knock-on effects.
Brawling was 30% in the patch notes I
we're
looked
going to
at.
talk about the
last
action
night.
plan. We can talk about the individual changes. But effectively, getting rid of the brawling effect, nerfing healing by a set amount, making sure that lifesteal also is another factor that's been nerfed by an appropriate amount too, getting rid of the scaling, and then introducing new fun ways that healers or gods with healing abilities can affect their teammates, can affect themselves, can affect the enemies. And that's a really important part, is that you may see healing overall being diminished in the game, and that's one of the goals.
Yeah.
But some of the gods who rely on healing the most should have new ways to influence the game.
Yes, and that's the most important part too, is that healing in Smite is not equal. You can't compare Hell to Achilles. They're not the same.
Right, absolutely.
So we also address them in that way as well, depending on exactly how much they were relying on their healing, how strong they were in the current meta is also applicable here too, with some characters that, weren't super strong, may have gotten a buff to compensate. Some of them maybe did not get a buff.
Yeah.
But it's really dependent on how they were affected in the current meta, plus the amount of healing that they were getting, plus how much overall that healing was affecting them and their kit.
Yep. And the last thing I want to say there is that whether you believe it or not, I think most of you do, healing is like statistically one of the most powerful effects in the game.
Yeah,
regardless if it's
very
in meta
scary.
or not, it's always really, really strong. And whether there's anti-heal in mind or not, there's going to be a lot of times, a lot of games where the entire team may not be affecting everyone on your team 100% of the time. With anti-heal effect. And speaking of which, the second bullet point is, with all these healing changes, there is now going to be an anti-heal cap.
Yes.
You can no longer get reduced all the way to 0% healing. So that's just one mechanism to make sure that even with all these changes, with
No matter what, even Anubis and Circuit,
you can no longer have completely reduced anti-heal. Except, caveat on the caveat, except with just a few gods, right? We didn't want to change Odin,
Anubis,
Circuit, or
Circuit.
Cyrus.
Okay, cool.
I think those were the only 3 cases in the game where they just have complete heal negation.
Aposh.
Okay, man, there are mornings where I can wake up and I don't even know if I want to eat Cheerios or nothing for breakfast, and they're over here like, well, we changed healing, and healing is 5 different things, and each of those branch to 1 or 2 different things.
Yeah,
and
you can see now how this started to spiral out of control.
Oh man, well, big
that's part of it too. Is we
Yeah.
just got to make sure that we're again conquering everything here. When
Yeah,
it
and
comes to healing.
I'm saying that to give respect to y'all and y'all's team, because the amount of things that you think about going into this, I've been working with Smite for a couple years now, very directly, and playing for longer than that. And even sitting here, hearing y'all talk about it, after reading these notes and typing them into patch notes, you're teaching me things even now about cases. So, sorry, I just had to gush for a minute.
And also on that, as we said about for season 1, and we're going to say with all the seasons, all these big gameplay beats,
of course.
we're going to expect there's going to be some things that players are going to continuously want to change for better, for worse, or where it may be. Smite is an evolving game, and we're going to be balancing all these changes with you also. Obviously, feel free to let us know, and I'm sure we're going to say it again later on about what you would like to see further change with these healing reworks.
Yes.
Yeah.
As is the case with any big overall sweeping change, there will be things that will be stronger or weaker, and we are prepared for that. We are certainly keeping a lookout on those stats and on the opinions of the community overall, as well as the opinions of our pro players. We got to make sure that everyone is treated equally here in terms of how that we're hearing those opinions come in.
Exactly.
So,
all right, now let's actually get into it.
Right? Let's get into it.
We've stalled long enough.
Yeah, we're looking for y'all's
boy.
feedback, but we want to give you stuff to give us feedback on, starting with brand new healing items, completely new to the game. So let's get into it. We have the, oh God, you're going to make me say this, Rod of Asclepius?
That's correct.
Right.
Oh, that's class.
Right.
Is
So
that new?
just like we talked about, again, the tiny clumsy preamble before
Brand new.
getting into this thing, we talked about healers kind of losing a lot of things in terms of the actual.
Isn't this just Rod of Asclepius
but
buff
also we want to make sure that
with
they
more
gain a
healing
lot of
though?
things, right?
Okay.
Different ways to play around with with their teammates, play around with the healing effects they may give. So that led us to 2 different healing trees, one for magical, one for physical. We've got a couple other things that are out there as well. But for these trees, we
aura is the same aura.
Some ways
just a
to
bit
amplify
better.
your healing back to, again, you're never going to get to the same amounts you were before, especially with scaling Gone. I'm going to keep hammering that point.
Another
Scaling is
aura
gone. That's a
passive
really
on
big
top.
contributor
really
to the
big.
strengths. So Rod of Sleep is an item that's previously been in the game, as well as Catechaeus Club. Could you? I think that's
One of those.
right?
Yeah.
Catechaeus Club is also going to
Douche.
get a similar change, but different. We're going to get there in a second. And there's also new items. So
Yes.
rework on Sleep, I guess you could say.
Yeah, this one is rework. So it's like new.
Yes, and one important thing that I do want to clarify here with Rod of Asclepius is actually what healing dealt means.
Yes.
So I know the wording was previously confusing, so I want to clarify on this. Healing dealt is only your healing that you're passing out. Either that's to yourself or to your teammates. Giving healing dealt to other players is only in regards to what you are healing, not what they are giving out themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make their heal stronger. It makes your healing them stronger.
Yes.
Got it. And it works for yourself, so always good to know.
So Rod of Asclepius passive healing dealt, like you mentioned, is going to be increased by 30%. There's no team-wide aura. It's now only going to be specifically for you.
Yep.
But the new aura effect here is
This is
allied gods within 30 units have 10% CDR.
That's big.
That's a really new effect
What?
for aura. It's
Yeah.
something that we wanted to make sure that felt utility driven. 30% is going to be on the higher bar of healing dealt.
Bro, Afro is going to be a legit
again, the caveat there
fucking
is the unit size
heal
is
bot.
30 range. That's
Very
not a
small.
lot.
That's
Bro,
very
You're not
small.
gonna be
I'm queuing
affecting
with
your
Mindy. He's
entire
playing
team
Afro
all the
every
time in
game.
fights, nor even in arena.
Yeah.
You do have to meaningfully choose where you're going to be to
Yeah.
provide CDR for those
Holy
Awesome. Let's
shit.
move on to the next item,
What
rejuvenating
the
heart.
fuck?
And this is one of our new ones.
One of the
we've
new
got here.
ones that I just promised.
Again, as Clumsy mentioned, this is in a new tree, no longer in the staff tree, I believe is what it was
Ooh.
previously called.
so pretty.
This is now a different tree, and this is another tier 3 in that tree. And so Rejuvenating Heart is another option that healers go to, but this one is a nice little mix for our magical characters that they can get more healing the more active they are in combat. So specifically the passive here is that successfully
There's a lot of
hitting
health in these
enemy
items.
guns with basic attacks and abilities provides stacks of healing dealt, increased
Yep.
healing dealt.
Exactly.
So you can have up to 8 of
Damn.
these stacks, and so depending on whenever you use that next ability heal,
Bro, what?
specifically ability heal, want to keep that clear. Doesn't work
Keep
on like
clear.
meditation, doesn't work
Oh,
on
it's
pots, any of that
consumed.
stuff. It will increase that healing dealt. So whichever
Got it.
person that you hit with your heal, whether it's yourself, whether it's all your
Wait,
teammates,
that's gonna be OP as
will
fuck on
consume those
Guan.
stacks, then you'll go back to 0, have to build it up again.
Bro, Guan
Okay, so
and
it'll help you.
it's
It'll
gonna
help
be
you
fucking
in a team fight
nuts
build up
with
to maybe a
that.
burst heal. a slightly
Holy
bigger burst
shit.
heal. Okay, I like that a lot.
You're gonna have
Cool,
a
let's move on
fatty
to
burst
another,
heal, bro.
Another item, last gap.
Oh, it's mage
The
only?
third one for the magical
Oh.
item tree.
Baron maybe
this
then?
One, this
Ugh.
one is
That might not be that OP
going to
for
increasing your
mages.
healing power, your healing dealt. This one's going to give more utility or offensive effects. Like I said,
Okay.
That's
we wanna
100
make sure
magic
that,
power? God
healing
damn.
characters or characters who just splash into healing have
Yeah.
different ways and different
Okay.
options to affect their own gameplay. So for this one,
I forgot we
after
run out with
healing
those
an
3
allied
items and
god,
an extra
specifically, so
1,000
not
HP.
yourself, with an ability, you gain magical power based on how much missing health they have.
Yep.
So the lower and lower health that your ally has at the time of heal, the more
Yeah.
magical
That's
power
weird.
you
Yeah.
actually gain.
Huh, okay.
feel
So if you're
like-
clutch healing somebody, all of a sudden you're a lot stronger
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
for
So
that
that
time
item
period.
is
For a
probably
good
gonna
period
give
of
you
time.
Also,
120,
like, I love how the
130
name of
magic
the item
power
works into
as
the
long as you're
effect
healing
of it,
people.
too. Just chef's kiss on that. Cool. So next up, we just talked about this. I'm gonna call it the Caduceus Club because that sounds like a fun way to say
Good
it.
douche. The douche
And
club.
So Cat Club, now we're transitioning from magical to physical. This is our
Yeah.
new physical healing tree, and so Cat Club
so
is
this
getting a
is
bit
the
of a
Guan
rework
item.
here to make sure it's along the same lines of Rod of Asclepius, but one thing that we wanted to really emphasize here is that it is a little bit different. So it's still
Okay.
got that healing increase, right? It has that core pillar,
Yeah, that's
but
yourself.
instead of, yes, for yourself, again, healing dealt. Important.
And no
Remember
longer
that.
that like aura based effect.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
yes. So
For
that
healing.
yes, that is for you. For the aura, though, allied gods within 70 units. This is a little bit bigger.
Exactly.
Has CCR and increased movement speed. It's a small amount, but it's going to be noticeable, right? And movement speed is a very powerful stat. So I want to be sure that if we're giving people these stats, we got to make sure that it's a little bit of time. But it's very, very fun to play with this item. Play around your healing because you're going to be giving out more. And you're also kind of being the
So this
leader
doesn't
of the
stack,
charge, right?
right?
Because anyone around you is going that little bit faster. So y'all move together, you're going to be faster.
It's just
and
one
you're gonna be
aura,
taking,
right?
less
So
CC duration.
10% CCR and 4% movement.
New trees, definitely keep an eye out for
I
their
don't think
stats.
that's that
Yes,
OP. I
of
could be
course.
trolling, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's that OP.
Again,
Sleepiest
all of the
without that
patch
movement
notes.
speed. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Super cool. All right, well, let's keep going on with the Vital Amplifier.
Right, Vital Amplifier is an interesting one. So for the physical tree, we kind of have one more healing-oriented item and two more offensive or utility-focused items. So this one's definitely playing around with that. So you've got some physical power. I want to mention out the stats here as well. 20% attack speed. Also, after
good.
healing
That's a big
yourself or an allied god, so a little bit different than the magical version as well.
Yeah.
You gain 10% attack speed and 5% basic attack damage for a short period of time, but stacking up
Wait,
to
who?
3 times. And this doesn't have.
You have
an
to
internal
heal your
cooldown. So if
teammates. You guys have
like
to
a
process
multi-hit
this.
heal,
You have
like
to
Chop, if
heal
you're
other
healing
people.
repeatedly, or you're healing multiple allied gods and yourself. You're getting that stack very, very
Yeah,
quickly
right
and getting
off the
this
rip.
bonus.
I guess
effect
if you're
on it
healing
very, very
yourself, you get this passive, but on the other one, you have to heal other people, right?
Thanatos, if you're getting
Yeah,
souls
right.
from the
Like,
wave.
who's gonna use this?
Yeah, there's a lot of characters that can utilize this item really, really
That's
well.
what's really interesting is like we mentioned. is
Perk
that
would
even
be
if you are
kinda
splashing
crazy
healer, if
with
you're
the
not a
auto
traditional
attacks.
healer for
Yep.
any of these, you might consider some of these items that don't just increase your healing dealt for these splash effects.
Yeah.
Are we gonna
Guan
see
Yu's looking
like
good choice for that?
Ama
Amaterasu, I think, is
Bologna
the one
and
that
all the
we've seen a lot of
hunters? Are hunters
Speaking
gonna
of,
try to
the
use
next
this?
one's kind
Cupid?
of spicy too.
True. How about we check it out then? We check out Sekhmet's Scepter.
Oh yeah, this one's incredibly fun for those
Oh,
spammers.
this
This
is
is
gonna
the
be
kind
weird.
of character that you want to consider this item
Bakasura?
for. So Sekhmet Scepter again has the power, health, MP5, but this one's got CDR on it, so really good for like Guan Yu, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. So this one has very, very fun passive where after healing yourself, so in the instance of Guan Yu, let's just use him as our example here.
Okay,
You
sure.
press 1. You've healed yourself. Now you have a period of 6 seconds where each time that you damage an enemy god, you
What?
reduce your cooldowns. But there's also an internal cooldown on that proc. So,
Okay.
for instance, you've got the 6-second window, but every 0.5 seconds, if you're damaging in that time period, you'll get that extra 0.5 proc. So you're basically taking the time and then returning the time back and forth with that. So
it.
overall, you can get that 3-second decrease
Yep.
if you're on it every single time.
Yeah.
But again, you've got to be on it. So Guan Yu, a lot of abilities, able to proc that pretty
I was about to
easily
say,
if
just
you
start
are
spinning.
keeping
That's
Yeah,
all.
the
exactly.
damaging.
One Tallow Assault and you're
Yeah,
pretty much
Tallow
there,
Assault's got it.
almost.
Locked
Bro,
in.
this is
This is
making
a super
Guan
fun
and some
item with
warriors
those
sound
characters
fucking
that
filthy.
really want to play up those cooldown
I
refreshes.
keep forgetting about
because that's
Horus,
exactly what
too.
This one's for.
Awesome. Well, that sounds super fun, and we're gonna keep moving on with the next item,
Ooh.
Erosion.
All right, so this kind of is a new category that we're talking about. So now we're
Okay.
kind of
Oh, we're getting
adjacent to the
tanky.
healing. And this is a new effect that we're adding to the game to several different places, where it's future shield health reduction.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what people,
Got
what
it.
the community have desired is, while one already in the game, we have ways to decrease current shields that are already on people, right? You have Sunder, you have the Ankhs as well. But now you're going to have new methods of debuffing the enemies so that if a shield is is applied to them afterwards, it's actually going to be reduced in its effectiveness.
Okay.
So it's affecting any future shield. So erosion,
Forward thinking.
exactly, is kind of just the standard archetype item for this. So the passive every time.
That'll
an
be
enemy,
like a standard
within
item
30
against
units gains a
Nike,
shield, you gain movement
Geb,
speed, but again, the aura is kind of the
maybe
archetype part here,
Capri,
where any shield
Vamana.
applied on enemy gods within a small.
I mean, it's also
area
gonna
just
counter
has it
Shell.
reduced by 30%.
Yes.
So you have this around. Odin pops his shield.
Yeah.
It's already reduced. by
counter
30%
heroism.
on like first activation.
On launch. All right. That's awesome.
gonna
It kind of
counter
works
Nem.
like Ankh with predicting healing, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I
Exactly.
know they're about to shield. This is a great
And
use
then
case.
again, the fun you're going back to
What
because
the
the aura
fuck?
was the most important part there. It's kind of like Pestilence with its aura.
Yeah.
The active component is every time an enemy does proc shield, you gain movement speed.
I
effect
think this
as
will
well.
be
So
more
you're
for
kind of
like
getting- we're
heal,
already kind of
like shield
developing this
gods.
item the way we
Nike,
do new items
Geb,
already.
Shell.
The aura effect, the passive effect.
Those will be the
And
main
again,
ones
this
affected by
sounds
this, and
very scary
Vamana
for our
probably.
shield-dependent characters like our Odins,
Yes,
our
really good
Nikes.
point.
Odin.
But
Oh.
this has, again, a very small radius, 30
Yeah.
radius. So if you want to intentionally
Wait,
take
it's gonna
their shields
nerf
down,
Odin's
you gotta be pretty
damage.
close
You
to
gotta
them.
be
You're
in
within
there.
striking distance. So it's not just a free, I'm getting rid of all your shields forever. You're going to be a little bit in danger here to get rid of them.
Right, exactly. And you might see some of those
Lancelot,
characters who
true.
require it getting a little bit of extra
Yes, that's
shifts.
important too.
Hey,
It'll
that's
be
why we go
interesting
in crit
to look
Odin,
at
boys.
later.
Getting to that shortly then. Then we'll continue
Can't
forward.
counter
Looks
us.
like a bit of a passive shift for Gem of ISO.
Yeah, so up next, still staying on the shielding topic, we're just
Yeah.
adding this, debuff effect onto some of the other
Okay.
items in the game for various classes. We want to
Yeah.
make sure that people that aren't really looking to buy defense in
Reduced
that
by
erosion, because that is
50%?
again in the gem. tree.
Gem of ISO is
You know,
the
they have other
counter,
options as
bro.
well. So one of those options would be Gem
Apwash,
Isolation,
Gem of
where they have
ISO.
that applied
GG.
on the
Good
slow
luck.
debuff as well. So that is one of those items. As
Blood
well
Forge
as
shield
the
is
next
so
one
minor,
being
bro.
the
Like,
Deathbringer,
if someone gets a Blood Forge
which
shield, they've
also has
already
that
killed
same
somebody.
effect
They've
where
already won
for
the fight,
those,
probably.
Characters that are buying this Deathbringer, you also have that additional future shield reduction effects.
I'm talking about
those
shields
two
that
kinda go hand
matter,
in
that are
hand.
game
We
changing.
just kind of want to spread
like Geb
the,
shield.
the shield reduction love, or I guess hate, equally.
We love reducing them. We hate the shields. I don't know. It's
Yes,
good, yeah.
and the important part to consider here is when in the game you're getting these items as well, because for instance,
did they
Erosion
change
is a
the
little bit
passive
easier
back?
To purchase in the early game, where Gem of
Seal
Isolation
gems
and
as
Venom
enemies hit by your
Deathbringer, those
abilities
are more
will move
luxury
30%
items, right?
slower.
So
It
for
doesn't
those
say it's on a
characters, they're not
cooldown.
going to be able to go into it right away, but they could prioritize it if they feel like shields are especially difficult to deal with into whatever team comp they're against.
Yeah, if you lose draft against shields, then you have a path you,
You
can
have
go
a
to
path
help
forward,
kinda
yep.
settle it out.
Also, quick note on Venom Deathbringer. We know,
Yeah.
so obviously this being the glyph spot, a little bit more
Yeah.
niche. It's also getting a trade-off too. It's getting the damage dealt component removed off of this one, so we're not just adding the effects.
Passive div had a
and so
cooldown.
you
They
might
just
see
added
that
it in this
somewhere.
season. You're trolling.
Cool.
That's why no one builds
Well, I mean, we've talked
Frostbound
about
anymore.
we've talked about a lot of different
They
healing
need to change
items
it
as we
back.
kind of
If
move
if
on
the
to
every
rest
10
of the
seconds
items.
applies to
Is there
both
anything
things,
else
that's
that you
stupid.
wanted to go over within the
Shield thing
purviews
makes
of
sense.
how we're changing healing, you know? Or, I mean, do we cover it good? Y'all are always covering things good. I just wanna
Yeah,
make
no,
sure
I
we're
think
good.
the most important thing here going on is that what we're going to go into next, but also you can see the patch notes, is just a whole bunch of items. You basically
Yeah.
expect, like, if you see lifesteal, if you see healing,
Yeah.
it's going to be getting a certain amount of reduction.
Yeah.
So we're not
There's
going
gonna
to
be
go into
counter
all of it now,
picks
but on the
to
patch notes, definitely
shield
have a
gods,
look,
which just
because
blows my
it's a whole
fucking
bunch of
mind.
different, items.
It is, and I always recommend looking at the patch notes for this because they are a treasure trove of information so that you can start preparing for the Season of Hope. So we'll keep moving on through items, starting with or
Patch
moving
is
into
fucking
starting with-
crazy.
moving into shards and relics and that kind of area, and it seems like they just overall there was some nerfs happening in that
Yeah,
area.
so that's kind of what I wanted to preempt in the previous section, is that, like, right now we're going to breeze through a couple things. We're going
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
be
fly through 'em.
pinpointed on a couple of other ones, but for these ones specifically, Claw Shard, the meditations,
Nerfing everything?
and Sunring Siphon, they all have healing effects. They've all been reduced.
Got it.
Oh.
Yeah, just again, the goal of the season is to take healing and tweak it. Whether that's, I mean, it's reductions here, additions of new abilities there.
Gratter.
So
The
overall,
Gratter
good stuff.
cloak
And,
of
yeah,
meditation.
we might be breezing through these, but I do also want to shout out that after this patch note show, we are going to be doing a designer Q&A. If you guys have questions,
Yeah, if you guys go and
about
read
any
the
of these
paper patch
specifics,
notes and then
we'll
come in here and
discuss
type
them for now.
something, you're getting
We'll be
timed
there
out.
later
Do it
to
again, you're
answer
getting
them, but This
permaban.
is just kind of an overview, and then feel free to ask us questions in that next section.
Yeah, so actually, you know, we'll just throw this in real quick, and I'll mention it again at the end. But yeah, right after this, we got the art show. For those of you who didn't see it ahead, don't worry, it's still here. We got the art show coming immediately after. And then once the art show ends, like Lermy just said, we have an incredible show where they're going to answer questions, go into the patch a little more in depth than what we're doing here. For those of you who want to stay in, ask your questions, and really get all those juicy details. So
Yeah.
we got y'all
Again, there's
covered.
a
Yeah,
lot of
There's a
changes.
lot of details.
And one more thing on the
Please.
different types of change that we're doing,
Yeah.
including for these nerfs we talked about for shards and relics, and going forwards for gods or for the other items. You're going to see a lot of times where there's going to be just strict nerfs, right? Just strict, the healing has been stripped off of these things.
Yeah.
And some gods or characters or items or abilities, whatever it may be, may get shifts in comparison.
Yeah.
The designers have basically chosen which ones get shifts, which one gets buffed based on either their performance, based on data, based on their perception, based on a
Wait,
lot
so
of
they
different
might remove
attributes.
some
And there are going to be
lifesteal
times
from
where there's going
items?
to be just strict nerfs, and you might be going like, hey, that item or whatever it may be.
Oh, bro, they're
is
gonna
not
remove.
really
They're
doing
removing
so well.
lifesteal from Blood
Either-
Forge. There's no
or is
fucking
doing
way.
really well and it could have gotten further nerfs. And either again, we're
And
looking
making
at
it
the
an
data, we're looking
assassin
at the
item.
perception to
Have
base
to be
our
if they're doing
decisions
this shit.
around those, or it's also a good opportunity to just do some meta shakeups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's some
exactly.
things that you might have expected even larger nerfs for. There's so much change going on that who really is going to predict what's going to happen in a few weeks' time once you guys all get your hands on this.
Yeah. So I mean, I
Maybe
think
next week.
yeah, next
Yeah, I just mean when
Yeah.
like maybe things
More and
start
more.
panning out and stabilizing, but I was gonna say months at first, but you know what? You guys
It's
might
not
figure it
months.
out in a week.
Yeah, y'all are quick.
knows?
We
so.
have those math wizards out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I think this is a great area also to point out, like, for those of you who didn't know what we meant by 4 seasons in a year, 4 seasons in a year. We kicked off the season with Surtur and everything huge. We're into the second season, Season of Hope. And
this
there's
batch
a lot of
is
stuff.
10 times bigger than I thought it might be.
Imagine what will happen in season 3 and 4. That's all I got.
And I
say.
knew
All
a
right,
lot
let's
of
keep
shit
moving into
about
starter
this.
items. All right.
And I didn't realize it was
looks
this
like
big.
Hunters, plenty of starter items getting tweaked around in there. I mean, I'll just let y'all dive into it then.
Yeah, so in general, this update has done a few things. It's addressing a lot of the healing stuff, but also there's kind of like we talked about, I know AJ was here earlier, there's a little bit of shift between hunters and mages and ADC mages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are a
just
lot of shifts
from
that
a bad, I'm
maybe,
straight-
providing actually incidental buffs to a lot of hunters.
Yeah.
So we want to be very, very careful with their starter items and upgrades as well as taking this as a good opportunity to shift things around because they have maybe have had a bit of a static gameplay style.
Yeah.
So Death Toll being like that quintessential provides a lot of healing.
Of course.
There's going to be some new things going on there, specifically on the upgrade. So one, Death Toll is going to be increasing its physical power, going to be decreasing its health, so it's a bit of a shift there.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about some places getting shifts, but also Death's Embrace is getting kind of a spicy change here. So, well, the health is being reduced.
Wait, but now when Soul Lane's about to be fucking nuts.
You will also start reducing your active non-ultimate ability cooldowns by a very, very short amount. But that's happening without an internal cooldown.
Awesome. So yeah, it'll just keep going, and if you're really landing those attacks, awesome. That's really
Bro,
cool.
that sounds insane
so, I mean, let's keep
to
going
me.
with it. There are more changes to more items, and yeah, let's dive into the next one.
Yeah, so we've also got Death's Temper,
Yeah.
which is getting a buff as well, and then we're also moving into the Cowls, which have been a little bit out of the meta, you might say. It's been a bit of a Death Toll world for a little bit, as you might say, at least for our hunters.
Bologna and Ama might be kind of nuts.
So they're also getting a couple of shifts for Leather Cowl, mostly buffs, but again, taking away a little bit of that
Always gonna be a
lifesteal
few of those
potential.
shifts. Yep.
Yeah, so
exactly.
when we see the shifts, we'll be sure to clarify, which direction it's going for Leather Cowl in specific. We know that it's been out of the meta. We're trying to give it a little bit more of that up versus a lot more of that down, like for Death Toll.
Cool, and it looks like we're kind of ending with the arrows, actually, and a buff to Diamond Arrow.
Yeah, Arrow's not as much sustain going on there, so it's really kind of just on the buff side of things. We've got a little bit more gold generation from Gilded Arrow. We obviously want to be very, very narrow on that one because we know how that can start breaking the game.
That can make a lot of money.
Bro, I don't know when we're updating Smite Source because these builds are going to be
Diamond Arrow.
all over the place.
That might change a lot of different playstyles, but it's on the upgrade, so you
added
got
10%
way over
pen.
there.
Yeah, it's something that you'll get to, but you're not going to start with.
And then Ornate Arrow getting some base attack damage as well as some critical strike.
So they're trying to get away from Hunters building Death Toll and more into going back to Diamond Arrow and Cowl?
These are just straight buffs.
Yeah, it's just straight up a good time. All right, well, let's move into jungle starters. And it looks like all of these are seeing, there's some shifts and then some buffage going on across basically, a lot of them across the
Oh, shit!
Seer of Jungle.
What are we doing?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of interesting stuff going on in the jungle. We've
Yeah,
been seeing
Bluestone for
some
fucking
people
3
going,
months.
We've been seeing some people going Bluestone, and we're not necessarily against people going different items in the jungle, but we did want to make sure that because the general jungle star items are
mannequin
focused
buff,
a lot
bro.
around that sustain. and how they're
mannequin
keeping it
mace nerf.
into
Yeah, because
making sure
they
that
never
can,
nerfed it. They
keep
nerfed
jungling
mannequin, but not
efficiently.
mannequin
We
mace.
wanted to make sure that they're also getting a little bit more value on top of that because we've seen that jungling might not be as difficult as it used to be considering there just weren't as many camps before.
Yeah.
Well, again, we also fixed a little bit of that going on in the Conquest changes themselves, but we want to address that with the items as well.
Yeah, so for almost every jungle item, starter item, they always have some sort of health restore.
I hate how all these say shift.
You're expecting the shifts there, you're getting a little bit of power back in compensation, and then specifically for the eye of the jungle tree, you're getting just kind of some strict buffs.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds like an excellent excellent.
They're not
shift up.
telling
And
us
again,
what they
the jungle's
are?
just been a crazy play. So seeing the
We're gonna go
shifts
through the
there,
paper
between those
changes at the
RPs
end of
and the
this.
new Cyclops camp. There's just a lot of moving and shaking.
Exactly.
So let's move into solo lane now. Solo lane been not. I mean, I play solo lane. It can be an island sometimes. So there's a lot of changes happening there, not only with Conquest but with the items. I mean, and Bluestone right off the bat, getting some touching. Looks like a little bit of nerf actually.
Yeah,
Good.
this item has been showing up across the board.
Second
in
nerf.
3 different roles, you'd argue.
been
Almost
doing
4
good.
if you were going to count mid there.
Kill it. Murder
So we wanna just make sure we're adjusting
Bluestone.
it accordingly. Of course,
Destroy
we
it.
wanna-
Tired of it.
I guess.
I'm just like,
All right.
I'm sure. I'm just thinking about like my ranked
Insider
game
strats.
flashbacks.
Oh,
And like, you know
man.
what? There was definitely one.
Just the 5-stack Bluestones. It'll be fun.
Yeah, so we've been seeing this one doing a little bit of work. Again, this isn't really fall into that healing category,
Yeah.
but we'll see that a little bit later. So we're touching Bluestone, getting a little bit of damage decrease on that. Bluestone Brooch, the upgrade, is also getting a decrease on the damage dealt, the base, and the health percentage. And then, of course, we get to move forward into our axes as they are getting the more healing-oriented change.
Yeah, and it looks like those are also kind of seeing a little bit of nerfage.
Yeah. So we were talking about healing. We're talking about hunters. Another kind of subcategory of nerfs is just proc damage.
Yeah.
We see the community sentiment that proc damage is a little bit high, and we don't.
Wasn't that shit
disagree.
proccing off like Mystical Mail and
We
stuff?
did address some of that in I think a previous bonus bounce.
Bro,
between
you guys are out here
Heartseeker,
saying
Jungle
Warriors
Destiny,
are getting
we've gone
nerfed.
back and forth and down a
They're
little
not
bit.
nerfing Warriors.
We're
They're
also
making
gonna
it so
keep
you
in
can't
mind
just
where we
go
are,
a starter item
Discord
that
state.
carries you to the
Regardless of
end
how this
game.
season does with healing, proc damage is something that we're definitely going to
You
keep
also
an eye on.
just
There's a
got
few
Death
different
Toll
things.
buffed, which
For
will
Solo Lane
directly buff
specifically, it's
Warriors the
gonna be
way it was
Bluestone,
buffed.
It's going to be the Warriors Axe, but we're going to come back to that exact bullet point a little bit later and just something that I wanted to kind of mention overall now, so that if you think that we skipped anything, if you see there's any proc damage items that we didn't address in this patch specifically, which we did do quite a few, then we are probably going to be considering it for a future patch.
Yep, we're keeping an eye on it.
Always looking down the road. Like
My
it's
keyword is
crazy
the
how many things
Corsair
can happen right
K70
now,
Pro
and
Mini.
then you ask, wow,
Exclamation
so are
mark
you guys,
Corsair in the
winding
chat.
down
Go
'cause
get
you
one.
just finished this big thing. It's like, no. What does that even mean? You're
Always chugging forward.
always chugging forward. So continuing to chug forward, we have physical lifesteal items. And starting off with Evolved Devourer's Gauntlet, kind of getting a bit of a shift
This
around.
one is very, very fun.
Very, very
We've seen a bit of an Aussie meta, and that's really cool because Aussie got an awesome change going.
Shit,
into season
they
one, so
okay.
I thought that was a really fun.
So you're gonna be
nice
going
shake-up
Diamond
there
Arrow
because we had been
Devos.
seeing Devos dominating a little bit before, but now it's going to be a little bit equalized, right? Where the lifesteal
Okay.
component is not as different as it was before. I would say you still get that really awesome burst from Aussie, but with Evolved Devos, you're now getting even more power.
Gave it more
in the
power
morph.
back,
Pen
gave it more
15 flat
pen.
pen on Evolved Devos, which is
It's
a
just a
lot.
nerf to lifesteal, like
lot
always.
for-
It's
for
pretty
hunters.
exciting there. And again, kind of like we mentioned, there's going to be some shifts on a couple of things. We knew for physical lifesteal, like you said, is kind of dominated by Aussie. But where does Devourer's Gloves and some of these other items live in a world where lifesteal is just worse?
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to see that same exact question with the magical tree as well. If lifesteal is just worse and some of these items are basically their only identity is lifesteal, how can we kind of shore that up? So the Evolved Devourer's Gauntlet's getting the power into the pen, but also Dev Gloves is getting that little bit of love too. In fact, you're going to be getting the physical penetration per stack as you're gaining.
Yeah, they want you healing for less.
Bonus.
So it's going to be a nice smooth.
They want
And then Blood Force,
lifesteal to be definitely catered to fucking hunters.
Some attack speed, for
Which
the,
is
first
crazy
time,
for Blood
new
Forge,
stat
yeah.
for that item. And then
What
there's going to be
the
quite a few
fuck?
items as well that are going to just be getting straight nerfs for now, and then we can
That Blood Forge
readjust later
change
on
is
how they
nuts.
Yeah. And again, even if we're not saying
Holy
that these
shit.
items specifically are getting healing nerfs, they're almost always on the graphic here that we have on screen, thanks to our wonderful production members. For that, these are all getting healing adjusted. If you see it on the screen there, if we're talking about lifesteal, it's going
So Blood
down.
Forge has power, movement, and
all the
attack
update
speed,
notes.
and
We
lifesteal.
didn't want
now.
to talk about every little thing, so we kind of cherry picked some of the bigger ones or some of the ones that we thought were more important. But there's a lot more.
Like
than
every
meets the
item
eye
of
to
4
this.
stats is
I'm
OP.
just waiting for that one item somewhere that we missed, like the tier 2 with lifesteal that we forgot to bring it down.
darn it.
Yeah.
From, like,
And then
3
touch
to
Soul Eater?
2%.
Y'all will let us know. There will be people DMing me like, "Hey, you spelled this wrong in the update notes, by the way." I mean, it's hard. Listen, you can unlock your scroll wheel, flick it, and then I don't know, go bake a cake and come back, and then you'd hit the boss.
Stand
I'll
up.
take that cake, you know.
True. All right, so a lot of stuff in physical lifesteal. Let's move on to magical lifesteal as well.
Easy.
And I guess there's kind of a note here at the beginning to talk a little bit about mage ADC nerfs in general. So what's the vibe with that?
Right. So we talked a little bit earlier with like purple buff
everything?
being changed, mage ADC stuff. We had some
Yeah.
arrow changes before that kind of were like bug fixes,
screen?
quality of life from previously. Mage ADCs we've seen with this new season, with this new year, kind of overtaking hunters a little bit, which has also been kind of interesting, right? It's
It's
like
been neat.
no
You gonna
mages or mage ADCs, only
stream?
like double hunters going into the end
Hello,
of
stream.
last year. And then it's
Yeah.
like, where are
Hello.
the hunters gone? We saw a couple
That's
of them.
not saying hello.
tournaments. Yeah, and then we
Other
saw
way around.
a lot of mage
That
ADCs.
quick 180.
Between all the changes that we've made previously
dad.
and
dada.
specifically here,
dada.
a couple
Tell
of
him
mage
dada.
ADC nerfs,
Dada.
there's also going to be
Dada.
just more shifts like we talked about. So
Tell him. Hey, don't
the
get
mage,
down.
the mage ADCs and the godless, once we get to there, they may not be getting as many
Dada.
buffs as they could in compensation for their lifesteal and
Did
healing.
you just blow him a
nerfs.
kiss?
So that's kind of one thing.
Did you just blow him
also,
a kiss?
too, mage ADCs tends to rely on lifesteal
No, you can't
almost
have
as like an archetype of their item built
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's the rings, whether it's like Bancrofts or Typhons or the glyphs there, we
Oh,
understand that they specifically, the
Alright,
4
say
or 5
dada, you do it all the
that are
time.
out there,
Come on.
or
Say
that
it.
build path if you want to just
Say it.
build Poseidon as a mage ADC, because
Say
you
dada.
technically can, are
Dada.
probably going to be relying on lifesteal.
He's
So
just not gonna talk now.
we have
GG.
very much kept that in mind when thinking about the fact that we want to be careful with how much we nerf them, because we're hitting kind of like 3 different
say
ways
dada.
of nerfing them
Tell
all at
him.
the same time.
Yeah.
We don't want to like
Say
double
it.
or triple down on anything specifically.
Hello.
Awesome. Well, good to know moving forward, and moving forward we are with Typhon's
tell him
Fang
saying it the wrong
getting
way.
a little bit of a change up,
Yeah.
like a lot of things.
This is like the quintessential lifesteal item. Other than
It is.
Bancroft,
Ivan's getting
this
changed?
item does amplify your lifesteal proportionally. So this
Yeah.
is like the item to adjust basically for all of
that
our
healing.
lifestealing mages. So the cost is going down quite dramatically, very far, 150 gold. But it's also going to be losing that 10% healing from lifesteal, as well as 5% lifesteal itself. So those changes are really impactful, which means that we're also going to increase the penetration from 10% to 20%.
20%.
Make sure that those mages that are wanting to build more into that lifesteal
Bro,
to get that extra lifesteal amplification from this item are able to at least kind of compete. Because again, this is losing a lot of
Anubis.
that extra flair that it once
Yeah.
had because of the brawling mechanics.
Say,
But again,
that's
it's getting a
of
lot of
pen.
really awesome compensation between that cost, between the power, and between the pen increase. That this
Yeah.
is going to be a pretty powerful item
A
still.
new mage 20% pen item.
Yes.
It's just kind of just like an
Yeah.
interesting thing
Cheaper
to think
too,
about, 'cause it's
bro.
only
They
been,
give
like,
it
2
more
options before.
power.
Now a third
Give it
one.
more
even with
pen and
healing
made it
kind of being
cheaper.
reduced, definitely
Did
could
you just
change
fart
the
on
way,
me?
Mage's build.
Yeah,
Yep.
get the build
Did you
path
just fart
all
on me?
shook up. Excellent. So there are other things if you want to kind of rattle off some of the other
You
changes
did,
happening
didn't
under
you?
the magical
Between
lifesteal
like
side.
Telegon's Ring, Poly, Spear of the Magus, the trinket tree completely, whether
You
it's
think you're
Pythax,
funny?
Soul Gem,
Yeah.
the Bancrofts with the
Yeah.
glyphs in mind.
Yeah.
Bancroft is kind of another one that's kind of like built alongside Typhons or
very
even
similarly.
specifically,
Yeah,
especially
Mom.
with the glyphs in mind from HADCs. That one's also getting a little bit of a spicier shift with the floor actually being increased for when you're gaining like the max
Okay.
Yeah.
benefits
Okay,
of
that's nice.
of the power and the lifesteal. So
Yeah.
that one you may not have to go all the way down to like death territory
Yeah.
to actually maximize.
Still very
on its
good in
benefits.
1v1.
That one earlier was
That one's
was
kind of
kinda
exciting
cool.
there.
It was
Trade
nice.
item. All right, well, cool stuff. And again, all of the stuff on update notes, y'all know
If
this. I'm
BTS
beating
goes
into
up,
the ground.
nope.
So let's get into some more general balance. Obviously, a lot of what we focus on is healing related because that's the theme, but there is some general balance in here as well. Starting with the way the teleport fragment works, actually. So teleport's just kind of in
Can't see
general
that.
getting a nerf. It looks like for
Right,
solo
so
lanes.
I feel like we're
you
addressing
happy?
so many different subsects
Yeah.
of like
it's all over the
gameplay.
place.
So we were just talking about healing, right? Healing is now in a box. We're putting the box
Yeah.
over
Yay,
here.
they're
Let's talk
nerfing
about solo.
teleport.
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
finally,
solo lane.
bro.
We're in the solo
Fuck
lane.
the solo
You
lane.
know, there's going to be a whole bunch
Oh,
of
yeah?
stuff in healing as well. It's going to have massive implications for
Oh,
the
yeah,
solo lane.
that's across
So
the
we're
map.
going
Is
to
it
just
Dada?
address a few things here, which is making
Is it
sure
Dada?
that solo lane feels interesting. Teleport may seem like a small thing, but just we have seen the prevalence being extremely high, the purchase rate for teleport being extremely high. So
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that there's a little bit less safety and always be getting freely back to your lane via
Yeah.
teleport.
Yeah.
We know that we'll have some knock-on effects for like casual players like me. I buy it regardless of whether it's in meta or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to get back to lane.
I'm
So
gonna
like,
get
I'm getting
poked out,
teleport. I'm
I
getting
wanna get
healing
back.
challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah, the important thing
that.
to note here is that this is to increase the diversity of what we see. For those players that are confident in their laning abilities, or they pick
Go say
early game
uh-oh.
character, you don't necessarily need to go teleport. You could
He
invest
wants
into
you,
an
he didn't want
option
me.
like a shell or a med or even something like a bracer if you're really feeling like you want to just pump out that
Yep.
damage
And
and,
then-
try
Yeah.
and kill the enemy.
Between like teleport, between the map changes that I think we talked about, if not, it's on the patch note show with Totem of Ku and the Aura
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
we
like
did.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
A
drop
few
it
other
again.
small things like I'm going to go into Oni Hunter's Garb,
Please
where we've
do.
done a shift here. We've increased the health, but we've decreased the damage mitigation per stat.
Hey,
Because
yeah.
another thing that's alongside
My
all of this
keyboard.
is the mitigation argument that we've
Yep.
addressed a little bit before, and we're going to keep our eyes on continuously is how much mitigation is in the game, and
Yeah.
that's something that you might see a little bit more in future updates. But just another place we're going to be shifting the mitigation, and kind of the last thing here is Frostbound Hammer and Runeforge Hammer, kind of being tweaked items that we did in season 1, are actually going to get
Ah, they're buffing
buffed up,
Frostbound?
because one thing to make sure is that if it seems like a lot of warriors, a lot of solo laners are going very, very high defensive items kind of to start out their builds. So we want to make sure that there's a lot of good comparative offensive items. So if you want to, if you see the enemy going kind of like a breastplate or something early, you want to go kind of Runeforge and go more of an aggressive build.
Yeah.
You have that option to kind of bully them out for a little period of time before you flex your build paths.
Yeah, and especially considering the changes to teleport and all the value that you get in those camps as well, it's going to be more
And
important
those
than
roaming
ever.
harpies and like
Yeah, there's so
Yeah,
much.
there's so many
There's
things.
so many like side changes there that we want to kind of again do a few
Yeah.
different things and different methods to kind of
Yeah.
affect each part of the game.
Yeah, we're looking at it holistically here and trying to make sure that every aspect is getting adjusted and
I don't know, how is it, Lincoln?
And it feels like it definitely is. So
Is it
let's
Dada?
packaging up solo lane, putting that box over here. Let's get into a
Yeah,
little bit
Dada.
of general ADC stuff with Failnot
Say that
having
again.
a bit of
Say
a
it again, make
change.
sure they can hear
Yeah,
you.
so this is we kind of
Dada.
preempted a little bit earlier in
A little
Venom
bit, yeah.
Deathbringer losing that kind of 10% damage output
Hey,
debuff.
don't-
and
yeah,
it's actually
don't
going to
eat
be
my
going
mic,
on the
sir.
mark of Failnot.
Okay.
So
My
Failnot
mic.
item that I mean. It's
I don't know.
slightly niche depending on what kind
Yeah,
of character you
it's
are.
dependent.
I was like getting in like Dunsborough or
It buffs
Cupid.
the
Hey, that's
but
pretty fun.
output- yeah,
Under
exactly.
the debuff.
Now it's going to get a little bit of that. It's a small buff. Really,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
where
small
it is.
buff, and along with some other things was like Transcendence, Demon Blade, Bladed Boomerang, Griffin Wing, all kind of also getting some shifts. A lot of buffs
Exactly.
actually, really. So
Yeah, mostly buffs for our hunters. I mean, we've heard you guys
Buffs
feel
for our
like
hunters.
are in a not so great spot, and we see the data to support that as well. So we want to make sure that you guys are getting a lot more to play with here, and it could be any of these items, or again, that shield reduction coming on to Envenom Deathbringer.
yeah, so all kinds of different, again, approaching from all the angles. So moving on to the friend of the ADC, we have the support
Dancing?
and
Best friends.
heroism getting a little bit of a touch up.
Yeah, I mean, if you buy heroism on my team, you
We're
will be
gonna
my best friend.
buff heroism, right?
This is just kind of getting a buff to go in.
Oh, they're giving
line with
heroism
the
or
other
the gold.
support star items that get extra gold per 5 when you upgrade them. So this is more so of a fix than really
Yeah,
a buff.
Terra's and Spartan Flag both
Yeah,
kind of
both
getting
of
that,
both of these
that
guys getting
clause
that.
added to them.
Yep.
Cool. And then we continue to trek onward, and we're getting into now a little bit more of general balance. And well, for mage, I guess.
I'm gonna go over paper pass notes after
now
this.
We're in the mage realm.
These
going
items
up
are like
mid lane, and we're
half
looking at
being
Divine
covered,
Ruin.
so
Having some
there's
power
so much we're
scaling
not
changes
seeing.
around?
Right. So this is kind of that
Okay.
other side of the proc damage coin that we were talking about, where
Yeah.
we saw that on warriors and solo laners a lot more. Mages are the other kind of class that's been utilizing that a lot.
Damn,
And
the
then there's
mage
also kind of
nerfs
this
are ink.
argument between where are mages strong. Once they get
Yeah.
their book of
Late
growth
game
and,
mages are
Tablet of
so
Destinies online,
overpowered
they
right now.
Kind of nerf those builds, and where can we play around with mage builds is kind
Yeah.
of where the question is. So two things here: Divine Ruin and Soul Gem are going to get the proc damage decreased.
Yep.
And we wanted to make sure that they have mages as a whole kind of get a few new things to play around with, or a few old things to play around with
Ooh.
again.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
return.
So Doom Orb kind of getting some buffs there. It's a little bit of shift
This
technically.
is a big buff.
Yeah,
It
it's a
is,
big
yeah.
buff here. So you're
It's a
gonna be
good buff.
the mana is going to be removed, but we're adding 10% magical penetration, and we're increasing that base movement speed from 4% to 6%. And then there's a couple of other buffs, like we said, with Ratatouille, Calamitous, Perfected Ratatouille. Just a
Removed
glimpse.
mana
Tier
from
2
Doom
of,
Orb,
Doom
added
Orb being
10?
First Orb, as well as Spirit
Increase
Justice,
movement
all getting
speed.
buffed. Mostly again, to just make
Yo,
sure that if
Chronos
we're moving
buff.
away from proc damage, if that's the thing that has made mages a little bit too strong, we're giving them kind of.
They
new
just
things
that's
to
a
control
huge buff
the
to Doom
bonuses they
Orb.
may have.
Awesome.
Especially with
And
all the
besides,
hunter
oh
shifts and
my
buffs that they
gosh, that's a
Yeah, I wanna make
fat
sure that,
buff
you
to
know,
Doom Orb.
We don't want mages to be too powerful. We don't want anybody to be too powerful. It's just all about the harmony
There's
and the
more
balance.
things to try, more toys to
Yeah.
play
It's
a
with.
lot of
Trying
item buffs
build.
to
You know,
Hootie
you might
getting
like
buffed.
this Doom Orb build. We've had a lot of fun testing it, at least. It's
Yeah.
been a bit since we've seen any Doom Orbs.
Yep,
So
exactly.
Doom Orb is gonna be
Maybe now's the time.
OP.
Little Doom Orb action. All right, well, cool. So that's done it for items. Again, as y'all might have noticed, we didn't get in depth with every single one of them. You know, we shared some very important things, but there's a lot of info you can still go read in the update notes. But we got some gods to talk about now. And the first god, who has been, I imagine a lot of y'all have thought about this, a hot topic for a healing update, and that's Aphrodite. There are a ton of changes here to Aphrodite. It looks like most
Hootie
abilities
was
are getting
already
adjusted one
150
way or another,
power.
So let's just dive right into it.
Yeah, so Aphrodite, again, is like our, what would you call it, our poster healer?
Yeah, the
poster child
poster
for our
healer.
healers.
So
Yeah.
a couple. I feel like you could just do like I don't know if it's a bingo card, a tally of me just interrupting her like. Before we get into
Yeah,
this,
but before that.
clumsy's preamble.
All
So
right,
let you
go
finish.
on.
Clumsy
But-
preamble section is a few of these gods that we're starting with are going to be kind of like the assault healer tier list. We can almost
Yes,
call
yes.
it.
Yeah,
Right? Like
the-
that's
the-
how you guys would see it. For us, it's really just like the best healers of the game. So whether it's the tier 1 healers being kind of like
They
Aphrodite,
gave
and
it
Hell,
15
going
power.
down
Crazy.
as
You guys are
healers as
hyping
well.
up 15
Tier 2
power a
healers.
lot
The
right now.
first
It's kind of
section
weird.
of this is going to kind of be in that order, and we are
Now
going to go
deals
through,
40 to
I think, all
120,
tier 1,
25%
tier 2
scaling
healers.
damage to enemy
Unlike
gods.
what
Now
we did
shares
for
50% of her
Iceborne
MP5 and
Execution. And
20% of
later
her
on,
physical and
Mike's
magical
experience kind of
protections.
picking up the-
What?
the most interesting one. So
What?
Aphrodite being one of our
Hold
best
up.
healers.
Yes.
So for
Hold
sure.
on, Afro support is actually nuts.
All right, so
Indeed.
some of you may have seen on Twitter yesterday, a little
Ooh.
spoiler
spoilers,
moment.
yes.
Kiss now does damage to gods only, which is a very exciting change. This again will,
Minions get no love.
Minions get no
No.
love,
What
man.
the
Unfortunate.
Sorry, little guys. Maybe next time. Not today. Aphrodite's getting a lot of other change on top of it as well.
Yeah.
So
A lot.
damage, number 1. She also shares 50% of her
So she gets
MP5
cap
and
defense.
20%
She's
of her
gonna give
physical and
60
magical
physical and
protections
60
with her
magical to
soulmate
people.
instead of
Plus
sharing
auras.
the mana regeneration,
Right.
which is
Bro, she's gonna be able to
very,
sit
very
on
cool.
someone's
I think this
nuts
is a really
and make
interesting
them
direction to
so
take her,
fucking
especially
tanky.
For those who are building a little bit tankier Aphrodite. Support Aphrodite, not troll anymore?
Nope.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Question
Like
mark?
we said, the more
I don't-
the more you
I
kind of
actually
relied
think
on
support
healing
Aphrodite might be
before, whether it's
fucking
for
nuts.
yourself or for your allies.
Yes.
Yeah.
The more changes you're going to get, and these two, specifically these two tier 1 healers, are going to get the largest amount of that because we wanted to make sure that if you identified yourself as only an Aphrodite healer,
Yeah.
now you have just new ways of playing Aphrodite that doesn't just rely on that playstyle so heavily.
Oh,
so
yeah.
now the Link's teammate getting MP5, which again kind of was what you had before with the mana restoration. It's kind of just
Yeah.
an easier way of doing that now.
Yeah. It's more
Um,
consistent.
It's more consistent. You're not just doing
Yeah.
like weird burst like meditation plays or something
Yeah.
like that. And the protections. That's just one of the few ways now
Oh,
that
there's
she's
more.
varied her playstyle.
Yeah,
There's more.
there's more. Let's move on to ability number 3, Love Birds, because we've got a change on this
Yeah,
as
this
well
is
where
spicy.
the heal's going down. Of course, talked about that. No more
Heals-
magical
heals are always
scaling
going
as
down.
well. But this ability now provides a flat 0.25 second ability cooldown reduction per tick to self and allies, including on this ability.
Yes. So this for herself, this is just a flat cooldown reduction. On this ability, it's 2. So we specifically, I want to call this out because I know we could question this ourselves. We specifically didn't increase the cooldown on this ability to compensate for the cooldown reduction it's getting, but that was kind of purposeful. It seemed like a good area to just also just buff.
Yeah,
just
regardless. And again, we're keeping an eye on this.
Aphrodite
really
support might be
the
fucking play.
But that's not all. We've still got
That's
more.
not all. How about we talk about some more?
Oh yeah, we've got Ultimate Time, Undying Love. So kind of to change up the thought process here a bit. So using your kiss on a non-ally while you're linked to an ally provides a buff of jealousy. And that increases your power. So yeah, we have an additional way to obtain jealousy other than going off and kissing someone else. Is you've got you are able to do it when you ult as well. So not only is this a safety mechanic, it's also a buff mechanic. So jealousy will now refresh if it's already applied, or it will apply 5 seconds of it anytime that Aphrodite ults to herself and to her soulmate.
Yeah, that's really cool because it allows
cool.
you as the Aphrodite a way to gain the power buff without actually being linked to an ally.
Yes,
'Cause
exactly.
if you're just completely by yourself in mid lane or
So
wherever,
Aphro already has
and you
this
pop your
jealousy
ulti,
buff, but
you're
now
just
it
getting
procs on the ult too.
Yeah.
It's just pretty good. It's a lot of power.
That is a lot of power. So yeah, a lot of crazy changes going on there. And we have a lot of changes with another healer as well. Hell, another popular in the healing space, having another.
But hold on, just one quick tiny last thing on the previous one. This is like it's not a preamble, it's like a post-amble.
A post-amble. All right.
As we mentioned, that magical power scaling and power scaling as a whole is going to be pretty much removed from all healing abilities. Only a few select healers, I think these are one of the only 2, are going to be gaining per level increases on their healing.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Lovebirds will be getting +2 per level. All the other gods of the game, for the most part, are actually just getting the per rank. So the best gods that required kind of demanded the most amount of healing are getting at least a little bit of compensation.
Okay, and it makes sense for those that were kind of built around healing to have that naturally getting better at healing as you level thing. So all right, cool. So next up, we have a preamble about Hell, and then we're going to talk about Hell.
Now, the preamble on Hell was the same one I did for Aphrodite.
Okay.
But I
You're
guess
gonna repeat yourself.
me saying this right now is like the clarification
All
of the
right,
preamble.
all right.
So go ahead.
Like get into it.
Hell,
Like,
again.
I need to be the one quiet here. So
Hell, again, another one of our poster chines of healing, you might say. So she is getting a bunch of changes as well. First up, Stance Attunement, which is her passive. In the light stance now, instead of getting increased healing, you are now applying 8% power reduction to enemies in the area, which also scales up depending on how attuned you are
so
to
going
that
all the way
stance.
0 to 8%.
Yeah, 0 to 8%, to better clarify on that. This effect, again, scales up as you're attuned to the stance, but that is the first thing. The second thing is on Decay, which is the Dark Stance 1 with the explosion. This now goes through walls.
Which copies the same behavior as the
on
light
this
stance.
map. That is big.
Gameplay-wise, they will now feel the same. Which also, it's a buff, obviously, but it also just makes it feel a little bit more intuitive. You don't
On
need to be
this
like, oh, I'm in
map,
this
that's
stance,
a
and it goes through
massive
walls, and this stance, and
fucking
it doesn't.
change,
Now
bro.
it's doing the same thing.
Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
cool.
And speaking of doing the same thing, we've got the light stance one, restoration. So of course, heals going down here. You know, gotta be clear on that, and also getting the per
5 per level.
healing, like you mentioned for Aphrodite as well, because this is so in tune with what Hell is. Get it?
Damages minions,
Anyway.
goes through minions.
This ability now also damages and passes through minions, as well as when you hit an ally with this ability,
heals
it gives
people
you a
for
mana
mana?
heal on top of it.
Gives you mana
And
back?
then also mana heal can apply to the ally that you hit. But again, this mana heal is only when you hit an ally. This is not on hitting an enemy. You don't get any restoration for that. When you hit an ally,
What the
you yourself get
fuck?
the smaller
You get
heal,
your mana back and you give your
as well as
teammates
this
mana for throwing the one at
So,
somebody?
again, more ways of affecting others around you that aren't just healing, and that's going to be seen again in the next.
Bro,
ability.
I've wanted like
Minions
true
soak in their
supports.
love. All right, cool, next ability.
All right.
Like buff
Are
supports,
we ready
but
for
this
the
is
third thing? The third
fucking
thing,
crazy.
Inspire. Is that the third thing? No, that's actually the fourth thing. I'm really good at counting, everyone. Inspire. Of course, less healing here,
3.
but we are also doing that per level ability heal. This is also affecting her minion heal. And additionally, the buff on yourself and allies now includes a 20% attack speed buff.
These
for
are
the
buff
duration
guys. These are
of that,
supports,
heal
bro.
over time, the movement speed as
These
well.
are actually
It's
supports.
almost, depending on the circumstances, one would argue that it might be more important to proc that for the attack speed buff than it is for the heal
for the
itself.
healing,
What-
yeah.
how,
Kind of
wait,
just new ways
for
to
the
apply,
duration? How long is that heal
game.
last?
Yeah, adds
on
a
somebody?
second circumstance instead of just throw the heal out. It's now like, well, I could heal or I could pop it right away, get that auto attack.
Exactly.
So again, like you've been saying, alternate pathways. I like it. I like
Last
it.
thing,
Oh
promise,
my
just one more
gosh.
thing.
Oh my god.
This one's really fun though.
This one is really
fun.
fun. So switch stances, which is her ultimate ability. is now getting a decreased cooldown from 2 seconds to 1 second. And this is mostly to line up with our other stance switchers that have that 1 second cooldown. Hell had a 2 second cooldown, which made it a little bit more difficult for you to really get in that flow state. I know a lot of players of Hell will say, I'm just kind of pressing my buttons. Now you can press it a little bit faster going
This is
between
crazy.
these two
Last 5
stances.
seconds
And
on the
this is
heal,
really
alright.
to mirror
So
most
5
of those
seconds
other
is 20%
stance
attack
switchers,
speed.
like your Ardios and your
I don't know,
Urus
man.
and characters that already have that
Afro
like
and
that.
Hell in the duo lane
Awesome.
just
Consistent, but it's
so much
uphill a little
potential
bit.
right now.
Yeah,
That's
it does
fucking
feel
crazy.
good. It does feel good, I promise.
They would know. These are our playtest gurus. So and they're like, it
It's
feels
true.
good.
It's like Hell
So
has
they-
better clear now too.
So all right, well, cool. So we're gonna continue moving down the
For a
list.
support.
Yemoja, as to be expected,
All
getting
right,
some
Clumsy.
changes. in a
There you
healing
go.
patch.
Now's your time.
There you go.
I'm trying to think how long I want my preamble to be here, or my explanation.
Like
So,
30 minutes or less.
Yemoja is the last of the tier 1 healers.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, when you compare Yemoja to Hell and Aphrodite, she actually relies on healing the least.
Yeah.
We've already changed kind of the healing amplification on her kind of passive basic attacks. The only thing she has is Mending Waters that does shielding as well as healing. You know, there were discussions on whether we even thought it would be as important to have this be a healing ability at all. Like maybe that's the shift we do. We just go crazier gameplay changes because Yemoja, obviously, you know, everyone at high res on the design team, we're all well aware of how she performs.
The
right?
paradox.
The paradox that
Paradox.
is Yemoja. And so this, hopefully this will satisfy you guys. Maybe it won't, but all we're doing for Yemoja is actually going to be doing small healing decreases. Again, getting rid of that scaling. It's going to be a flat amount. She's not even going to be getting that per level increase. We're increasing her shield health. We're increasing the damage on the AO2. It's all very focused on the AO2,
Okay.
but on that second ability. But we really want to keep our eyes on her, and this is kind of our way of just saying, like, hey, you know, we are happy with Yemoja.
Yeah.
We know that there's a world where she doesn't necessarily need heavy level reworks, but we are very, very curious to see in this new healing world how she actually shifts.
They
in the
nerfed
gameplay.
her
Because
heal,
again,
but
she
buffed
doesn't
her
actually
shield
rely on
to
healing
make up for
as
it.
much as these other tier 1 healers.
Because the
Obviously, it
shield
is
can be
important,
reduced too.
but there's going to be a lot of changes
They
going
buffed the
on with
damage
all
from the two?
healing, and let's see how this shakes out. Because again, it's not just the healing on her, but it's also with the world with the shield reduction effects are also going to be affecting Yemoja in a negative way.
Yeah.
So that's almost another nerf that we need to keep in mind of as well. So, you know, again, this is just kind of our
She's
way
had
on the design team to say,
anti-shield
like,
forever.
We understand
right?
Yemoja is an interesting point of contention.
Very much so.
And we're going to continue
She does
to keep
more shield
keeping
damage.
extremely heavy eyes on her to see
She's
how
always
the
done that with her
best
too.
way to move forwards with her in future patches.
Cool. Awesome. Well, sounds good. And again, I mean, yeah, like with everything, we'll be keeping an eye on how they work in the game, what the community feels, and the feedback we get from y'all. So send it in. Always an incredibly valuable source of helping us fine-tune some of these crazy big changes. So,
And
nice.
I think that was important because some of these tier 2 healers
Oh,
are getting some really spicy
These
stuff,
are
and I
so
didn't
fun.
want anyone to think that we like forgot about Yemoja or
Yeah.
anything like that. It just we wanted to make sure that before we do any crazy spicy changes to Yemoja, we knew the right direction where she
Our
was
tier
going to
2
go.
healers,
She's kind of just
Chang'e,
the hardest one
Guan,
to judge out of all of these.
For sure.
So let's get into some
Horus.
spicy tier 2
Woo!
healers.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
tier
Let's
1
start
Aaron.
done.
yeah, tier 1 done. Tier 2, Sylvanus. Let's go.
Oh,
Start
Sylvanus.
this by posing a question.
Raw. I forgot about that.
Does anyone remember Release Sylvanus?
Oh yes.
I remember Release Sylvanus.
been a while.
Okay, whoever said it yesterday's right. They're making the two
So,
do
a
the
change
heal
for
creeps.
Sylvanus here
aren't
is
they?
that, of course, the wisps are not going to be healing as much.
Are they the damage creeps now?
Okay.
We have some special
Yep,
here.
you were right.
Wisps
Whoever said
will
it last
now
night,
heal the
I can't
minions.
believe it.
Once
Love
again,
for the minions?
Once again, he is
No.
able to heal the minions, as was in years past. Oh my gosh, he's so
no,
old.
he
I'm
can
trying to remember
damage
when he
and
came
heal
out.
minions.
That makes me feel
I'm
old.
taking
Anyway,
Sylvanus into the jungle, boys.
So, for those who know the deeper breakdown of Sylvanus Wisps is that there is a burst heal at the beginning. Minions are not getting that, and they're also going to
Yes,
be
that's
Sylvanus's lane
taking a
clear
little
is
bit
going
less
to be
than,
fucking
they
broken.
normally would. I phrased that so weird. Players will be taking the most.
More
Minions will be
than
taking less, and they also will not be getting that initial burst heal at the beginning.
Yep. And the enemy minions are going to be damaged too.
Yes. So
So bringing
a little
that
bit of both.
bringing
Little
that
bit of both.
spice in. But yeah, it's also for a very small amount. We definitely play tested with the numbers. We play tested. If you're curious, we play tested with 50%, and that was.
Bro, his
pretty
clear is
crazy. It was
already
affecting
good with
so many
just his
more targets
autos.
than
It's
were
gonna be
previous.
so
Also, we thought
fucking
about the
nuts.
passive. There was a world where all of the
Because you'll be able to
minions
walk
proc
up
passive.
and to the
Wisp-
wave and
Yeah,
also hit
Wisp
the gods that are near the wave.
would have broken this.
And just
entire
poke,
change would have
heal,
broken that.
push,
So
all at the
Wisp
same
will
time.
not be proccing the passive seeds, only for the minion hits, of course.
Yeah.
The new minion hits. That
Yeah.
have added.
Well, that was spicy. All right, we got to keep moving.
Oh, it just gets. Yeah, I mean,
it
this
just
next one
keeps
really
going
spicy.
spicy. All right, Chang'e, what's the spicy change there?
All right, so some shifts here, obviously.
Yeah.
Moonflower
course.
Dance, we're going to be decreasing the healing. No longer getting the magical power scale. I'm going to keep saying that every time I can.
It
because
doesn't
that's
anti-heal
pretty
anymore.
insane.
Yeah.
But also, a little bit weird here is we're removing the healing reduction debuff. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be a little bit sad about that, but we're shifting it to a completely new component, which, one
She
could
does
argue is
extra
another
damage.
component to her passive. But hey, that's the way it is.
15% extra
Where
damage
all
to
of
the
her
target they're
damaging
hitting.
abilities will now be applying this new debuff to enemy gods.
I mean,
which
Chang'e was one-shotting me the
increases
other
Chang'e's
night.
damage dealt to them specifically with future abilities, stacking up to 3 times.
Okay.
So it's a new debuff replacing the healing reduction, where her 1, her 3, and her 4 will now be dealing extra damage every time you hit gods, with that debuff on them.
Yep.
Got it.
So first ability, not going to be doing anything new. It's just going to apply that debuff. But the more that you smack people, the more that you have cooldown as well, the faster that you're going to be able to keep up this debuff and keep that damage increase going. And again,
only for
Chang'e.
Exactly.
Only for Chang'e.
We're on the same page for that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't think it's
Only for
everyone on your
Chang'e.
team.
That would be a lot.
Yeah, that would be a bit much.
Cool. All right. Well, let's keep the party rolling with Ra.
Ra is an interesting case, right? Because he
the
has
bird.
Solar Blessing, which requires you to stand still. It's not the biggest heal in the world, but it
Yeah.
still is significant in those situations where it matters, like assault, like
Oh,
in
yeah,
team
for
fights,
assault, for sure.
things like that. So again, heals going down. No more magical power scaling. We're
Bye-bye.
increasing the protections buff, and we're increasing the power buff for both physical and magical.
Yep.
Cooldowns going down, mana's going down, or mana cost is going down, and then we get to the really spicy thing, which is searing pain. Change coming to this is that the power scaling is going down, but
By 5, it's tiny.
It's
By
fine.
five.
It's not huge, but
there's now a new component of this ability's damage that deals true damage equal to 5% of the target's max HP to enemy gods only.
So this was going to be a lot better for getting kind of those bigger hits against not just squishies, but also those tanks as well.
Tanks, yeah.
It's enemy gods, so you're not going to be like absolutely destroying fire
Added
giants. or anything like that.
5%
We did
extra
consider it,
damage proc
but that would have
to
been way too
searing
We
pain.
did the math. The math
No.
was like no.
the math
So-
was like
The math said no.
So yeah, a lot of interesting changes with there. But yeah, Solar Blessing kind of more
And it's only
exacerbating
God,
that,
so it won't
utility
secure
field,
buffs
that
or
power,
anything
that
better.
mana, that
Yeah.
protections, and kind of new component with Searing Pain.
that's
You
crazy.
can execute.
Scarier, loud laser
It's just
beams.
extra
So looking
damage.
forward to that. Next up, Guan Yu. I think we talked about Guan Yu a little bit already. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and this one's also quite interesting because it's not a lot of changes. We're not going through a massive chest, but the ones
Yeah.
that are there are pretty big. So Conviction, the heal again, is going to be decreased. It never had a scaling component before, and so it's kind of the easiest nerf. I was just like calculator,
know.
easy. And then so I guess no, I'm not gonna preamble that.
Wait,
That's a whole different.
it gives
All right,
cooldown
maybe
to
I'll
gods?
We'll talk about them in depth.
Yeah.
Q&A.
To everyone
Q&A.
else?
Don't even
Am I
waste
reading
our
that
time
right?
now. Scaling, how we formulated scaling and those nerfs is definitely a good thing to talk about in
Wait.
Q&A.
Yes.
Why is the 1
but
second flat
Conviction,
CDR
it's now
effect
going
on?
to be providing 1 second flat CDR immediately to your allied gods that are healed. So this will not affect yourself, so it is not a self buff because Guan Yu already gets
he
that
already
had
on the
that.
healing. So
Yeah,
He's
it's already
sharing it
there.
now.
exactly.
They're
he gets a-
giving
he
his
gets a 2-second
passive at
flat
2
cooldown
people
reduction
he
for himself.
heals.
Now he's going to be doing half of that for allies around
his
him.
friends, yeah.
So it's not a big buff for him. in
Dude,
lane or
this
anything like that,
seems
but
so
that's why the second buff, which is
broken
Tail
on
of Assault, is
paper.
gonna be
What?
increasing the stack shred and the steal from 3 to 4
They're
stacks.
buffing the
that will
3?
always be helpful.
Cool. Yeah, always super helpful. I don't know why. I was just like with all the jokes I was sitting here like I would love if they were like Conviction. Now it scales on power. And that was the only change.
It's the only
It's
one.
like,
yeah.
wait, what?
Huh?
So it doesn't do that. So it's all up in here. Terra coming up next. We got the buff lady getting some changes too.
Yeah, Terra's another one of those healers that has multiple abilities, so we're going to be talking about a couple here. So first things first, we got Monolith for 3. Going to be healing for less, but it's also going to be providing protections now if you're standing in.
Yeah.
So a little bit more important to protect that Monolith in lane, or maybe you even want to just have it hang around a little bit longer instead of
It
shattering
gives
it right
prots
away.
now in the
There's a lot of
3?
benefits of just having it sitting there and you.
That's gonna be so even better for
Number one,
objective.
right? But Earth and
Holy
Fury, ultimate
fuck.
time. The heal
Ooh, ultimate
is
die.
going down quite a lot here. The heal over time is now just completely gone, which is a very big change.
They buff
But
mitigation back
to
up
trade
to
off for that,
10%.
we're also going to be increasing the damage mitigation that allies are getting when they're affected by those stones from 5% to 10%. So doubling the
That is a
mitigation
lot,
for no heal
yeah.
over time.
Right. So this one's also really interesting because we could have just decreased the heal over time,
Mm-hmm.
but at that point there was an argument of like, well, maybe this is kind of at the pro angle, but these are things we need to think about too, where you could just onk anyone, right? Like Terra
Yeah.
using her ulti is actually an absolute negative if anyone is using onk
Yeah.
because it actually just puts an immediate target on their back and makes them take more damage. So by removing the heal over time completely and focusing on these other effects like the damage mitigation, it's actually almost like a net buff in most circumstances.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it removes an element of counterplay that existed relatively readably earlier.
Yeah.
So
But if you proc that the heal from the stones all being depleted, you still get the benefit of an Ankh. So it's not a bad thing to do for her, and she's obviously got multiple ways of healing.
of
so that's
course.
good.
So cool. All right. So this next one we released a little teaser of. This is
Yeah, this one
Those are
broke the
nuts.
internet.
This
huh?
one broke the internet a little bit. Let's talk about Anubis and how he's got them legs on him.
Yeah, so Anubis is again falls into a category of gods. So yeah, we are out of the tier
Yeah, we are
healers.
out of the
So
tier
I guess
healers, yeah.
the clumsy preamble for this one is we're going to be just talking about a few gods. In fact, there's a few on our list, and I think we're going to go and try and think of a few other ones. Just as kind of the spicy ones. Again, we're going to talk about
Yeah,
you
of course.
guys can all see the patch notes, and if you want to ask
Yeah,
questions,
remember
later on
Terra's
in
always
Q&A,
global?
Please do so. But there's a couple of gods who rely on self-healing a little bit more. So we didn't want to exclude them from the list. We wanted to do a holistic list of all the different characters that can heal. So Anubis is passive, decrease healing, increase. So it's not even like healing itself. It's not a lifesteal like Freya's is. But we even kept that in mind. But it was like, okay, well, what can we do for a god that cares so much about lifesteal, cares so much not just from the passive, but all these items that are being nerfed as well?
Yeah.
Well, we finally did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Anubis can walk during
Anubis can
Plague of
walk.
Locusts. It's going to be at 50% movement speed, so he's not zooming at
Yeah,
100.
yeah, he's not
But I
running
mean, hey,
anyway.
we can
Wait,
make that happen.
It does more damage?
Also, it's a side buff for this one. The ability is actually going to be ticking twice as fast. So instead of ticking at every 0.5 seconds, it's now going to be ticking at 0.25 seconds, which actually also procs his passive faster as well.
Yeah.
So in a way, that itself, you could argue, is definitely just a buff. Also, any of the damage decreases you
does
see here
200
is
damage a
purely cutting it
second
in
for
half.
how many
He's
seconds?
not really going to be receiving any damage nerfs throughout this. It's the same net amount of damage.
Yeah, it's just applied in more frequent ticks.
Yes.
So cool. Well, yeah, that's just a spicy one. I am not prepared to be hanging out unsuspecting in arena or assault and just watch him. So not ready for that.
The
Nope.
first thing one of my friends mentioned when they saw the tease was like, Anubis jungle is back.
It never left.
It never left.
All right, cool. Well, we have a Marty party to talk about next.
Is it a
our
party?
boy Martichoras. No, it's
not a party.
So I
Party
know
for everyone
It's your
else.
boy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, your baby.
He's been out for one patch, and now I got to nerf him. I guess it's the way it
Yeah.
is when you have a character that's so dependent on lifesteal. And Martichoras' passive really is monstrosity. He's just getting nerfs across the board because he was performing a little bit stronger than we would like for gods to be. So we're taking him down a bit with this. No buffs here in compensation. This is just lifesteal's going down from 1% per monstrosity stack that you're getting to 0.7%.
That is what I was saying to do to
again, just
Anubis
less
for like 2
lifesteal
years,
overall.
3 years.
And then Poison Barb. This is also kind of going to reflect
Yeah,
on
I'm
a
just like,
different change.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm like, there's
Another
so many
preamble?
few small things that like I want to make sure that we address. Yeah, so continue your statement first.
Yes. Well, Poison Barb is going to get decreased healing reduction from 50% to 40%,
Yeah.
and now you may begin.
Yeah, and so
And
well,
so.
once again,
Thusly.
so we talked about how anti-heal is going to have a cap from, it's the 100%, which it technically was, to 80%. One of the other things that we're doing as well is for god abilities specifically that had healing reduction of 50%, they're all being reduced down to 40%.
Except for one, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we can get to him later. But
We'll get there.
Flash. But yeah, he's
special.
different. He's
Yeah.
special. So that's another thing, and also to keep in mind, because we didn't talk about it for items, I don't have the exact numbers on the top of my head, but they are written down somewhere, is that there's a now reduced cap for physical and magical lifesteal on items as well. So you can't just, no matter what, we have kind of a new balance knob to tweak. It kind of was there before, but now it's a lot more easier for us to access, and now it is a lot more purposeful. So you can hit magical cap, magical lifesteal cap, physical lifesteal cap, so keep that in mind. Those do now exist.
Got it. All right, cool. So we have one more of the big noted before we go over a few of the other special cases, but one more big notable god on the list.
Go ahead. I'm going to start looking for some of the other spicy ones.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it. We got Thana.
Thanatos.
Thana on
You're
deck.
doing my
So
Thanatos.
Thanatos' big thing is that his abilities cost a bit of health, right?
do.
So he's also got a little bit of healing to compensate between his passive, between obviously Death Scythe, which is his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Especially if you're using Thanatos.
I get it.
First things first, let's talk about general. So of course, again, we were talking about how his abilities cost health. Well, now they're going to cost 4% of your health instead of 5%. For the ultimate, it's going to 8% from 10% of your health. So just less health cost per ability because you are, of course, getting less back. Now we move on to the passive, Harvester of Souls.
Passive.
You're going to be getting less health from the Souls of Gods as well as less health from the Souls of Minions. And that's just a straight up nerf. But Death Scythe, again, going back to that bread and butter,
The bread and butter.
getting a decreased cooldown by 1. And then, of course, it's now getting this decreased healing as
What
well. So
the
it is
fuck?
now
They're
no longer
lowering the
healing you in return
cooldown?
for 75%.
They're
now
not
healing
destroying
instead for
Thanatos, they're
50% of
buffing
whatever damage
Thanatos.
you dealt with that ability.
Okay.
But moving forward, we gotta get some more buffs in there, right?
We do.
Soul Wreath, the third ability, is getting a decreased cooldown by 1 second.
Oh, why
and
are they
then
lowering
going
the
forward once again
cooldowns
to
on
Hovering
everything?
Death. The
Thanatos
base damage
already
is
farms
going up, and the
pentas.
stun duration is also increasing
Oh,
by 5
shit.
seconds. That's not
They
insignificant.
buffed the base
Yeah, so
of
that's
the
gonna feel
fucking
really
hovering
good.
death.
Those times where you want to use it to engage and not necessarily execute.
Early game hovering
that's
death just
gonna
got
give you an
better.
even bigger opportunity to really turn those fights around.
Yeah, to really make the play happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, whew, that's a lot of Thana changes. So
Those are all buffs.
he did.
That's the first time Thanatos has had balance in like 3 years, by the way.
Yeah, and again, obviously he's one of those gods
It's
similar
buffs.
to Anubis, although probably more
I don't think you need a
that
buff.
relies on healing, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of his entire gimmick.
That's the thing.
And it's not like the healing nerfs we did is going to completely remove healing being
No.
important for Thanatos at all, but we wanted to make sure he got shifts because he didn't deserve
Yes,
just nerf.
Thana's
Yeah,
very
he's
good
over
right
the
now.
axe. So, just
So
a
he's
little,
going to be
back and forth.
Oh, he's got
very
a
much.
second on axe.
I'm sorry.
Still good.
Nice.
I'm done here. By
Still
the way.
very, very
She's
good.
taking over for the next show, so it was good. But all right, so what additional special cases did you dig up that
so
you wanted
try
to talk
to think
about?
of any that's on the top of your mind. I'm going to just like go through the list
Yeah, let's
slightly.
rattle off a
of just
few
some
of
random
them.
ones. Like you mentioned Upwatch, so I think that was an important one.
Okay.
Where Upwatch is the only god that didn't have his anti-heal nerf because he had two different ways of applying anti-heal. He is the only one that can kind of reach that new cap all by himself. So
Yeah,
that's
he's,
kind of
he's the true
his thing.
anti-healer.
And I'm not going to talk about all the different changes for these gods, but obviously
Yeah.
like Upwatch had some healing. He's going to have some shifts on that regardless. Another one that's pretty interesting is Arachne. Obviously, she's got some healing changes. Again, I'm not going to go through that here. These are kind of the extra stuff.
Yeah, we're
Venomous
going through
Bite
papers
now actually
as soon as they're
applies
done talking.
The anti-heal debuff. So
gaining anti-heal.
Arachne will be gaining anti-heal as well as the change. Also,
What?
Cocoon. When targets are successfully stunned by Cocoon, the second ability, they'll have their active cooldowns increased by a flat 2 seconds.
Brand new effect.
So this is the first time we're actually increasing
what?
active cooldowns, and this is not like the Abyssal Stone where it's kind of just like future cooldowns being changed.
How is that
Bakasura
useful?
also going to be getting anti-heal on his takedown ability. So we're not kind of putting anti-heal everywhere, but
Yeah.
we wanted to find some new places to kind of keep anti-heal as an important effect into the game.
They changed
also,
the way-
Eat Minion being is going to be getting a cooldown decrease from 15 seconds to 8 seconds. So kind of cutting that in half. That's going to have
Yeah.
some pretty big
Yes.
gameplay implications. Kamazot's is going to get a
What?
whole kind of Thanatos levels of changes because of the amount of healing that he does. Chalk's damage on his ulti increasing. Probably not as spicy, but I just want to make sure that we don't miss anything.
A lot
cool.
of these self healers.
Maka just got his 2 reduced to 8 second
A
cooldown.
large portion of other players in the game are getting smaller changes. Some of them are spicier, like Anubis, who was really focused on healing as his core aspect. But some of these other guys that just
Bro, if you go that one, didn't that one item that was like a tanky kind of item have
Hades'
cooldown
ulti
on it?
He's going to get that cooldown reduction.
They
per
give you
hit
attack speed?
doubled from 0.2 seconds per hit to 0.4 seconds. So that's pretty exciting. Neat's getting some changes as well, whether it's her general health, her spirit arrow roots increasing.
That's gonna feel
in
nice.
duration,
Yeah.
or even the backflip getting a small slow increase as well too.
Yeah, but I know that we don't have graphics for these right now. But again, all of these are listed
All of these
on
are
the
the
patch
patch
notes. We'll be
notes,
talking about
It
them in
just
the
says on the
post.
bottom right there.
Yeah,
Make
so
sure
I
you
just
check
wanted
it
to
out.
talk
a
about
lot
some
of
of them, yeah.
buffs.
Super spicy ones. I know Vamana's going to be getting some decent changes there with his base attack speed,
Yeah.
the Sleeping Giant passive conversion, so he's going to get even more physical protections and attack speed conversions.
Yeah, even though he doesn't have healing, he
Holy
has that lifesteal.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. And because even though he's got that lifesteal, that lifesteal is also going to be nerfed alongside with these changes. So he's going to be gaining increased power and protections as well from that ultimate. So
Got it.
some spicy stuff there. A lot of things that we're really excited to
So
see
many
how
things.
the meta is going to shake out with the healing reduction, with just the god changes that we're doing here, with the new items as well.
Yeah. So absolutely crazy.
so many different
Do we-
things.
So
do
many
do it?
different things. And
Almost
again,
done.
again, like we didn't go over everything. It said so right at the bottom of the screen. Go
We're
check
done.
out the update notes for a more in-depth view of everything. You got the numbers. You have what all is changing. But we wanted
Somebody
we
got
wanted to be
patch
done with the
notes?
show
Is this
before the
it?
natural end of the
Universe?
decay of our star. Yeah. So just lots of stuff that we went over. Super cool. And there's still a little bit more before the show is over. So next up is something that y'all might have seen a while ago. We talked about this a little earlier, but another event coming with this update is the community calendar event. Something y'all are familiar with. What?
It's back.
It's back. It is back. We're super excited for it. So what this is we put out a contest a while ago to have people submit art to be part of this free event. And we selected winners. We let them know. And now is their time for their beautiful art to be in game. And in fact, there's 8 pieces of art in game. as you're about to see here. We're super excited. So for those of you who aren't familiar, we have 2 jump stamps, 2 global emotes, and 4 avatars, all completely incredible. And the skin that you see in the background is actually Witch Seeker Amaterasu, a free skin in this event. And the way this event works, if you are not familiar, is once the patch starts, you will have 2 weeks to play 1 game every day for free rewards. So you will earn boosters, you'll earn a whole bunch of different stuff, including all 8 of those fabulous fan-made cosmetics you'll see there. And these were made by, we should be tweeting about all of the beautiful people with their ats, as well as putting it on the update notes. It's all there. So make sure to check it out. But if you play for at least 6 of those days, you will also be getting the Witch Seeker Amaterasu skin, which is in the background, but there it is in full beautiful glory.
Nice.
So an absolutely fantastic skin. Shame AJ couldn't be here to dote over it. But it's just absolutely incredible. And again, all of this is completely free. So when the event launches with the update, you will have 2 weeks for the duration of the event to play 1 game a day. Win, lose, or in between, just hop on, play a game with your friends, play a game solo, queue some arena, and earn free rewards. And with at least 6 of them, this skin is yours for free as a celebration of Smite. So super excited for that. Make sure y'all get in to check it out. And a big congratulations to all of our incredible community artists. Again, their art is featured with respects paid to them on our update notes. I've been talking for so long, my brain is rotting. On Twitter on our update notes, because we love y'all. We love the hard work you do. Our artists are incredible. So thank you so much. So yeah, now I'm going to do more talking, as if that's a good idea. Sorry, y'all. About some quality of life changes that we just think are really, really cool, and we wanted to let y'all know. So it's like a speed round. Ready? Here we go. First up, ranked reset for Year 10 Season 2. Classic ranked reset, MMR changes, values, and rank. You can see all the information down there, but just a ranked reset. We're looking forward to it. Part of the jump into the new season for Year 10 with Season 2, so excited to see that. A bit of an update to the way commendations work, also coming to the game. So the time limit has been changed a little bit, but the amount between commendations has been reduced. And the change to this is also to help people party up more. If you played with somebody you really liked and commended them post the game, there is the option to commend and then maybe try to join a team with each other and play for a while, queue up for a little bit, maybe make some new friends in the Smite community. So a super cool change there. There's also ranked split reward increase. This is just an overall plus side for everybody. But the 15-win split reward in ranked now gives godlike chest with updated and expanded rewards, while the 50-win split reward has been increased from 50 to 100 gems. Get the split, earn more stuff. I don't know what else to say. It's just all good stuff. We like giving you more things.
I didn't even know those were things.
Happy birthday. And then finally,
I had no idea.
Marty got a haircut.
Let's go.
Yeah, right, Pog. So and we actually, I believe we can show you right now. Martichoras just got a haircut, a little bit of a texture update, just to show off those beautiful locks. So looking absolutely fierce on the battleground, kind of settled in, you know.
Oh yeah, now that he's here, I mean, he's got to be looking good. And
yeah,
this
right?
looks mighty fine. Really happy to see that.
Exactly. Showed up to the party and was like, my suit, I could just update the drip a little bit now that I've relaxed into the battleground.
For all the Manticores out there, he is the drippiest.
Yeah, that's true. The absolute drippiest. And when you've been eating as many gods with a diet of exclusively gods and minions, like the flourish, the shine in the hair, it's all bound to be there.
It looks real nice.
Super nice. All right, so we did it. We did it. We made it. We made it through an incredible. That's it. Yeah, that is the season of hope. There's so many things we were so excited to share. And as y'all saw, we've changed up the way we're doing the update show a little bit. So please give us feedback on that, on the healing changes as y'all experience them, on everything.
It's a long patch notes.
We're trying to shake it up in Year 10, and we're having so much fun with it. We hope y'all are too. Some things to think about as the show ends is PTS for one. Who wants to wait till Friday to play PTS? PTS should be up before. It'll be up soon. It'll be up today.
Hell yeah.
And mighty soon. So keep your eyes open for that. Yeah, right? So, because, I mean, y'all saw how much stuff there was. We want
Usually I get a message when it's going up.
Of your
I didn't get a message today,
right
so
away.
it scares me.
Get in, test it out, let us know what you think. But that's not all. As we mentioned earlier, as soon as this show ends, we're going to be jumping into, a minute or two after the show ends. You know what I mean?
That's the patch notes.
We're going to be jumping into the...
Let's look at these paper patch notes. There. Paper patch notes, yeah. Paper fucking patch notes, because they did not cover everything. We'll look at as much as we can that isn't what they covered. We saw Rod of Ass Claps, right? We saw Rejuvenating Heart, and we saw Last Grasp. So they went over these items, right? These items are going to be... Dude, people are going to come up with some crazy builds. Saw Douche. Saw this. We saw this, which this only was attack speed, right? This item is just so fucking weird. After healing yourself or an allied god with an ability, you gain 10% attack speed and 5% basic attack damage for 6 seconds. So this is going to pair with Baka perfectly. Right? Like, I'm not trolling. Baka's already getting stacks and passive procs off of the creeps. Now it's just going to... This will work with Alma too. That'll be something. We saw erosion. We saw jump of ISO. What is this? Critical hits on enemy gods afflict them with poison for 3 seconds. This poison slows them 10. Reduces their healing by 35. Oh, they added the shield reduction to Envenomed. Increase duration, remove damage reduction. Oh, they shifted it. It's no longer damage reduction. It's reduced in healing and shields. So this is now an anti-heal fucking item. What? That's very, very strange to me. To reduce lifesteal on Claw Shard, reduce healing on Cloak, reduce healing on Siphon. Death Toll, we saw this. Whoa, I didn't know they buffed the power. I did not realize they buffed Death Toll's base. Oh, wait, this is a Death's Embrace passive change? Okay, I don't know how useful this will be. Like on tanks, this will be useful. This is like only a tank item, I feel like. That makes way more sense. Increase the amount of stacks gained from a kill or assist on a god from 5 to 10. Leather Cow, decrease cost, increase power, decrease lifesteal, increase attack speed. So I wonder if this will be back to a good hunter starter. Which is more power and more attack speed. More power and more attack speed. Gilded Arrow bonus. They gave more gold back to Gilded Arrow. Gave it 150 HP instead of 100. Give it 10% pen. This is crazy. Because this is a lot. This item has a shit ton of attack speed on it. So this item might be cracked. Increase basic attack damage from up to 10. Physical crit chance up. Oh. They increased the base level of it up to 15%. Whew. Bluestone nerfed. Bluestone nerfed. Warrior's Axe was nerfed. Sundering Axe was changed. Oh, this is what we need to see. Bombas has 10 power again, but it heals for less off camps. Bombas Spear nerfed. Bombas Hammer has more power. Nerfed to healing. Mannequin Scepter increased power scaling. Decreased health. Mannequin Mace decreased health. Eye of the Jungle. Okay, Eye has way more power now. 5 power to Eye of the Jungle. So Eye is probably still going to be the better starter, like it is right now. Reduce protections, increase power. Oh no, they increase protections. Reduced healing, reduced healing, reduced healing, reduced healing, reduced healing, reduced healing. Vamp Shroud, reduce cost, increase power, increase MP5, and decrease double healing. Same with Blood Soaked. Same with Sack. Devos, what do we got? Devos they went over. Devos now has more pen and more power. So it's 70 and 15. This is wild. They gave 10% attack speed to Bloodforge because it's losing 5% lifesteal, which is still good, decent lifesteal for the people building it. Soul Eater, they buff power. Wait. Increase physical power on a vault. Wait. So it's just up 10 power. It's a 10 power change. They gave more power to Aussie. Oh, look at that. That passive got murdered. Love to see it. Nerf the lifesteal. Nerf the lifesteal. Increase passive to 9% for Magus. All right. They buffed the passive with Magus. 5 more power to Pythags. They increase the cost of Soul Gem. Increase the power. Decrease the scaling. So this item was nerfed. Like, it gets 10 more power, but this item was nerfed. Probably needed to be. Bancrofts gave it more mana. Increased passive floor from 25 to 40%. Oh, that's kind of crazy. So at 40% health, you get 100 extra power. Where it used to be at 25% health, you got 100 extra power. So every bit of health is worth more power now. 10.3 is live. What, PTS is live? Typhons decreased cost, increased power, and gave it more pen. So this is a buff to Typhons. Teleport. They nerfed teleport cooldown. Thank God. Reduce the cost of Frostbound. Increase the power. So they want people to build this. Oh, it's only available to assassins and warriors? Who else was building Frostbound? Rune Forage. Decreased cost. Decreased cooldown of the passive. Onis. Increased health. Decreased mitigation. Good change. Added 10% damage output reduction to the debuff mark. So people do 10% less damage when you ult them. Decreased cost. Transcendence got reducing cost? Just when I think we're getting away from the item, dude. Demon Blade. More power, less attack. Oh, increase attack. Demon Blade got buffed? Yo, okay. This is... Okay. Griffin, we got 10 more 10 power. Boomerang lost the 150 gold cost. Those are interesting hunter changes. Gain gold. Decreased scaling that we saw that nerf the divine. Increased power. Passive floor triggers at 60% now. That's interesting. And then extra 15 power to rod. This is OP. Doomorb got buffed massively. Doomorb is huge. This is ridiculous. 10% pen on Doomorb and more movement speed. And tier 2 has 5% pen. That's sick, because tier 2 is expensive. What the fuck? All right. We're going back into a flat pen meta. We saw Afro's changes. We saw Hell's changes. We saw Yemoja's. We saw Sylvanus. We saw Chang'e. We saw Ra. We saw Guan. Horus, increased protections per stack, decrease heal, decrease cooldown. That's insane. His 3 is now on a 10-second base cooldown. You're never killing him. He's gonna be able to move. He's never gonna stop moving because of all his dashes. Yeah, you get 40% CDR. This is a 6-second heal. That's crazy. Decrease heal per tick on your ult. Oh, they just removed the scaling on the 3. Cupid now gains a passive stack whenever he or his allies picks up the heart from this ability. All right. Decrease cooldown 1 second. That's it. Baron. Decrease healing. Decrease missing health heal. This ability now applies slow immunity. Okay. Decrease cooldown of ESET's 3. Increase damage mitigation on the ult by 5%. Decreased healing. Decreased heal and RDO. Increased druid protection buff. So they made the early game more tanky from Vines. Bear self buff is up 5 protections. Decreased heal. Slow is 30% at all ranks. Increased movement speed per stack. It's still 1 to 3. It's just better in the middle. Increase attack speed slow. Increased base damage per shot. Decrease self damage of this ability by 4%. Non-team healer god balance. Achilles. No, what the fuck is this? Why are they increasing power and protections? This is a revert? Why? Just because they reduce a little bit of healing? Oh no, dude. HP per level, so AMC has higher base health, higher attack power. Remove passive healing from this ability. Now AMC now gains HP 5 while in the hive area. So it's not healing, it's HP 5. 40 HP 5. Decrease minimum health restoration from 7 to 5. Decrease cooldown. Undead Surge is your 1, right? It's 2 seconds reduced. Increase benevolence aura movement speed. They buff the early movement speed. On the 1. Oh. Anubis can now move on his 1. The ability now deals damage. So they buffed his 1, by the way. It does more damage. It does like... It's 10 more... What is it? Oh, it's 5 more damage every 0.5 seconds. It's lower than the hive healing. The HP 5 is. I mean, it had to be, so it makes sense. All right. Decrease maximum health from 5 to 3. This is big. The debuff from this ability now applies 40% anti-heal. Decrease healing, so you get less HP, which really, actually, it's a decent amount. Not crazy. This is a weird one. I don't like this. Target successfully stunned by the 2 have their active cooldowns increased by 2 per seconds flat. That is really weird. Really, really weird. I don't know. Maybe I like it. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Decrease cooldown by 1 second. Baba Yaga. Decrease heal. Decrease cooldown on her brew by 2 seconds. Decrease the mana cost. Decrease healing on Bacchus. Decrease healing on Belch. Oh, healing reduction. Anti-heal's reduced. This is nuts. So the 1 now gives anti-heal. He heals for less off of his eat minion. Actually, it just has no scaling. They upped the base number at high end, lowered it at low end, and then no scaling. But it's on a. It lost 7 seconds off its cooldown. An 8-second cooldown. Oh, baby. Decreased lifesteal, ability lifesteal on Bastet. Increased damage by 15 to make up for it. They just gave they were like, fuck it. Pounds gets 15 more damage. Here you go. That early game damage is nuts. Because the scaling on this is 100%, I'm sure, right? I think, right? Shield dash damage increased by 10. Slow increase to 20% at all ranks. And then healing is less on the 3. Cam is nuts. This has got to be a big one, right? Decrease heal per drink from 2% to 1%. Decrease essence drinker buff from 6% to 3%. Increase damage by 5% scaling and up 10 damage. Echo buff is up 5 power and it has a 1 second lower cooldown. The 1 got massively buffed. The 2 heals for less. They changed it. It's no scaling up to 100 max rank. Now provides anti-heal. The 2 is anti-heal. Decrease heal per hit on the 3. Decrease the cooldown to 15 at all ranks. Which is good because usually the level this last. Spirit of Death, increase healing reduction, increase healing stolen. Stun durations up by just 0.4 early game. Still 1 point at top. Decrease cooldown by 1 second. They just lowered all the healing on the soul explosion. Decrease spring growth physical lifesteal by 5. Increase summer heat power by 1%. Increase decay duration, so the the pen debuff is 10 seconds instead of 7. The slow is 1.4 seconds instead of 1, and it's an increased slow early game. Yeah, it's up 2%. Rain Dance, increase attack speed reduction, so it's better early game attack speed reduction, and the ult does 50 more damage. Nice. Serve steal is 80%. Wait. Oh, shit. I didn't notice that. Holy fuck. Serb about to be kind of nutty. At least that's like an individual character. Maybe not for a team. Chiron's increased power by 5. On the herbal medicine. The ult. Wait, Masterful Shot. Is that your 2? Your 2 went down 1 second on cooldown. Chiron's already good, so they should buff him. Decrease the heal on your 2 from Chronos. Healing reduction reduced. Increase base damage of Fool's Gold by 10. Decrease healing on the 2. Increase field movement speed. So now you're 20% at all ranks. That's really good for Danza. This is really good for early game Danza. Decrease lifesteal. Increase damage reduction per stack. Decrease heal from the ultimate. Increase damage mitigation from the ultimate. Increase taunt duration to 1.5 seconds. Increase bonus protection cap from 25 to 35. Increase attack speed buff. So early game, better attack speed. 2 doesn't heal for as much. Freya doesn't heal for as much. Gilgamesh has more base power. Okay. Decrease cooldown of his ult. Hades, decrease detonate healing. Increase cooldown reduction per hit from pillars to 0.4 seconds. All right. Okay. Whoa. All right, her got buffed. Bro. They're both on 11 seconds now at all ranks. Okay. So Hercules now has reduced cooldown as 1 as 2. So the combo is up every 11 seconds. That's before cooldown. Warriors have built-in cooldown, so that's not 11 seconds. This is always going to be less than 11 seconds. And then they reduce the healing. Some random person calling me. Kali heals for less on passive and on kill and assist. Increased damage on the nimble strike by 15. Okay. Decrease the heal. Decrease lifesteal on lash. Increase the stun duration and reduce the cooldown on Kali's 3. The ult does more damage now. Increase damage from 25 to 45 to 30 to 50. And more scaling. Wow. So the ult does a little bit more damage. It's not complete shit. Martichoras, they already went over. Medusa just does less anti-heal. They're buffing Morgan Le Fay? What? Hold on. Where did this come from? Morgan Le Fay is really, really good right now. 11-second cooldown on the 1. 14 down to 12 on the 2. So it's lower base cooldown on the 2. And then it heals for less. Mulan, decrease the cooldown on the 1 by 2 seconds at base. Same at full rank. Increase the slow on the... well, this is a 2, right? Increase the slow, decrease the heal. Nausea, increase attack speed on the 2 early game by 10%. Increase crit from 5 to 20 for 15 to 20%. Why are they giving Nausea more crit? Oh my gosh. Base HP of Neath up 31. That's a weird number to be at. Root duration is longer in the early game. Decrease healing, slows more on the 3. Your 2 on Nemesis does more damage. Now it's 10 more damage if you double hit the middle. Reduce healing from your 3. Decrease the cooldown of the 3. All right. Increase protection shred of your 1 by 4 early game and 4 at max rate. Decrease cooldown of the 2, 13 at all ranks. Increase the damage of the ult by 40. Wait, it's by 100 early game. Okay, that's actually significant. Raven Shout, decrease cooldown. Early game, it has more cooldown. Pele, increase power from 5+1 to 10+1. Decrease lifesteal, decrease ability lifesteal. So Pele hits, has more power. Persephone is more damage scaling. Ratatosk, what we got here? Lily Acorn, 5 more power. Healing reduced. 5 more power, healing reduced. 5 more power, healing reduced. Bristlebush, 5 more power. Lifesteal reduced. Acorn Blast. 20 per acorn with higher scaling? Oh. Hold on. Acorn Blast can almost one-shot right now. And then they're going to buff it by 40 late game and 20%. Hold on. Rad just got actually hyper buffed. Decrease reduction floor from 25 to 20. Increase damage reduction for multiple acorns. All right. It sounds like Rat's 3, especially if you go the acorn it's Bristlebush, right? That gives you more acorns. That's going to be broken. Overhead kick reduction on Ravana, down 2 seconds early game. Same at the base. Decrease healing. Set. Increase damage reduction. Oh, great. Sets 3 makes him take 5% less damage. And it's on a lower cooldown. And he gained 5% more movement speed from his ults. Shiva. Increase Bliss base HP5, MP5 from 4 to 8. Increase through. Okay. Cooldown on the 2 is reduced by 1 second. All right. Sobek. Increase damage on Tail Whip by 10. And cooldown by 1 second. Soul. Decrease healing. Wukong. Attack speed buff is up 10% off of his 2. Decrease cooldown on his 3 by 2 seconds at early game. Same at base. Decrease heal. Thanatos, they went over. Thanatos got buffed. Thanatos got 100% buffed. Tiamat's the same. Increase swing damage from 30 to 35. They up the scaling as well. So the 2 is the disarm, and then the slam. So the 2 disarms are going to do more damage. Decrease the heal. Tears stance changes 10 seconds at all ranks. Okay. Okay. What the fuck? Oh my god. Hold on. Ooh, full cooldown already feels like you can spam. All right. Yeah, it's his 2 and his 3, but like it already feels like you can. Okay. I feel like once I have 40% cooldown, I'm just spamming. I have like infinite abilities. Increase the physical conversion. So physical defense is going to convert to more power for Vamana in his ult. Increase attack speed as well. He's tankier now in his ult by 10. His power goes up by 20 at early game, 100 the same as at the end game. Zhongqi to increase heal. Cooldown of his Book of Demons is 3, right? It's down by 2 seconds. And the stun, and his stun duration is up from the early game. Okay, wait. This is huge. Because when your 1 is on somebody and you 3 them in the late game, they're stunned for 2 whole fucking seconds. Like you don't get to play the, and it's all the time. All right.